focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull and repel any hate, go create what you want, feel compelled, yeah. And once you finally get a taste of the race, you'll never look back once you felt that. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. About others way before myself, yeah. I guess that's why I feel like I go through hell, damn. Wasting time on your dreams instead of mine, yeah. About to turn this franchise around on a dime, man. It's all about finding your right state of mind. It's all about turning the worst into fine. It's all about time and the work and the climb. From the thirst we will rise, I'm immersed in this life. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it.
and welcome to my Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick, and let's get this show started. Got the trend of truth here. So, I was just rolling up my medicine for the show. I was running a little bit behind. For some reason, I always run a little bit behind, but I got it rolled up. I usually roll it up during the intro of the show, because I wait for the last minute to do things. Sometimes I do that. Today it's just been a little off because I have physical therapy today and my neck is killing me. I'm having a lot of pain in my neck. So I'm definitely going to take one of my pills to calm that down, because with the rain and the cold and the unexpected cold, because it got really cold here last night. We got into the mid 50s, and today we're supposed to be in the low 50s. Matter of fact, we're supposed to be like 52, 53 degrees tonight, which is very unusual for us here in August to be that chilly. Maybe he's going to bring in early fall for sure, early winter. I hope you guys are ready for that. I can't wait for the first snowfall. Are we gonna have an early snowfall? I mean, the earliest snowfall I experienced here was in October. We had like snow and a good measure amount of snow too. It wasn't like a little bit of snow, so a good amount of snow. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a good day today. Me, like I said, I'm sore. I'm achy. My therapist, she's too good at what she does. She was like working on me, and holy smokes, I feel it. I feel it. Matter of fact, how everyone is doing. Let's see. Let's check out the chat here. Hey, LB, how you doing, buddy? We're gonna watch some news, of course, but this Saturday, the return to magic. We're gonna go back to psychic readings again, and Saturday I decided 10 a.m. to start it, because that gives opportunity for those in Europe and those over here to participate. I know it's an early start for the West Coast, but 10 a.m. is the start of the Saturday show. So be here, be square, be ready, and have your questions ready for us, because I'm not going to be by myself. If I am, I'm still going to be doing readings, but I should be having Maggie on with me, so that should be entertaining. Hopefully everything works well. She's been going through some stuff, so it's is what it is. I hate when the candle is like lights up too big. I always gotta cut it down, cut the wick. You got a wick trimmer. You can't really see it, but see a little wick trimmer. When the fire's too high, that means the wick needs to be trimmed, and that's what I just did. It's just trim the wick, so you don't have because your flame should not be like 2 inches tall. Oh, it gave me a zoom in. It shouldn't be 2 inches tall. That's an unprecedented little zoom in there. It's just like, okay. But it should be enough. Like, it should be at least like half an inch to an inch. Actually, like half an inch. Once it goes above an inch to like almost 2 inches, you got to turn it off and cut the wick. Because if not, it's going to start smoking and have problems. Could overheat the jar and could break the jar. That's not what we want here. But I do have some news for today. First off, let's start with the weather. Let's see what's going on in the tropics. I like to get that out the way right away, because it's going to be a little active season. It is getting active. We're still not even at peak season yet. We're still about, 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks away from peak of the hurricane season. So let me go ahead and show you guys what's been going on here. So here's the tropics. Let's go ahead and make it big. Give me one sec. There we go. Let me come over here. So this is Aaron, and Aaron is it's a Category 2 hurricane. It's about 100 miles per hour. It's moving to the northeast now at 20 miles per hour. It's going to shoot off across the ocean. It's going to get pretty close to Iceland, but it's going to mostly likely going to go to the UK, and they're going to get a good little amount of wind and a good amount of rain. We do have a system up here by the Leeward Islands that seems like it wants to develop into something. They are predicting something to develop here. It doesn't look healthy to me, so I mean that's going to be a slow development. The one back here is the one to watch. A lot of them are not putting emphasis into the system. A lot of them are not paying attention to the system. I mean, anything that comes across Africa and is coming like literally like across, it's something to watch. This one's moving west, and if it continues going the direction it's going, it's not going to be good for the Leeward Islands. And also, what's coming off of Africa, it's pretty unique because you got a lot of rain, like more towards the upper latitudes, and that's just going to help stop some of that dust from getting into the Atlantic. So the next few weeks is going to be very interesting. With that said, that's your weather. I'm not a weatherman. I don't claim to be one. I'm just here to just share what's been going on. If you want a meteorologist, well, we could watch a quick little show on the weather. So let's do that.
Hey, good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Thank you, as always, for being here with us on Fox Weather. Right now, 5 o'clock on the East Coast, 2 p.m. out west. I'm Ian Oliver, and this is Fox Weather Now. As we say, 5 p.m. means we got a brand new update from the National Hurricane Center. Winds at 100 miles per hour, still a Cat 2. Its motion has accelerated. That's a good thing. Northeast at 20 miles per hour. But it was always at this stage going to be the coastal concerns, and we still have some of those moving into the high tide cycle for this evening. We're not beyond all of that just yet. Let's bring in Fox Weather's hurricane specialist, Brian Norcross. Brian came in early, so we've had some time to dig through a little bit of this. Haven't got to get through the discussion yet, but I wanted to ask you, a little tough for messaging from Duck Point South, the tropical storm warning coming down, but the storm surge warning is still up. So it kind of speaks to where we're at with this storm and some of those hazards just being directly related to the water.
Yeah, this is not a windstorm anymore because the direction of the wind is changing. So we're not getting that strong northeast wind that came into the northern part of Cape Hatteras earlier. Now it's really switched around. So we'll look at the winds in a second, but you'll see they're not from the ocean directly onto the shore. This is going to be all about the tide. And as you were talking about earlier, this is an unusually high tide coming up. The way the sun and the moon just happened to line up with the new moon coming up. So the high tide this evening is going to be higher than the high tide was this morning when we got some coastal flooding, although no big issues. Here's the storm, as you said, moving on away from the coast, but it's not so far away from the coast that it's not still putting a lot of energy in the ocean directed at the coast. So that energy will raise the water along with effects of the wind, although the wind is not going to be a big thing. There's the 100 miles an hour. The pressure is still down. We haven't had a new pressure reading. The big change, or the change, I guess not that big a change, but it's moving now northeast away from land at 20 miles an hour. The radar that we get, the radar coming out of Long Island up here and also out of Mount Holly here and maybe out of Boston, we're getting a little bit. Just this is the edge of the strong band around the storm. Otherwise, just very light rain along the coastal sections there. Nothing really significant. There's the size of the storm. Look at that. That's a radius. So the radius in this direction is 320 miles. Actually, when they measure this by satellites, over 500 miles across with tropical storm force winds, 40 miles per hour or more. So that's the big circulation that's getting the water moving. And the hurricane force winds are almost 200 miles across. I mean, this is a crazy big storm, up in the top 10% of all storms of this type in this part of the ocean that we've ever measured, as a matter of fact, in the record book. Here you see the winds right now, and notice the direction. So they're coming from a little bit to the west of north now, but the way the coast is angled there, that's still bringing the strong winds right along the coast, Oregon Inlet, gusting up to 38, 36 on this buoy here that's offshore. All right, then let's look up farther north. And Nantucket, well, that's a bright sunny day on Nantucket, only gusting to 37. But anyway, they're getting a pretty good breeze coming in this way. You see Islip. Now, Islip is inland in Long Island. So this is coming off Long Island Sound and down and blowing pretty good. So along the coast, the winds are picking up. But notice in general, they're paralleling the coast. They're not pushing directly in here in the Northeast. So the surge is not going to be enhanced that much by the wind. When we look at the surge farther south, the interesting ones, look at Duck.
You got lucky.
Almost 2 feet above the normal high tide, and the high tide is yet to come. The high tide is still a ways away. Hatteras, that's inside Pamlico Sound, and that's the water coming north to south there. So you can see the water is rising again. We're going to have some flooding of the low-lying areas, not in a big, big way. We're also watching Ocean City here. Tide is yet to come up in Ocean City, not until about 8 o'clock tonight to get the high tide. They're already 1.6 feet above the normal high tide level. So
that's
this is going to be some coastal
bit,
flooding here in these areas that are exposed to the ocean. Many of those lower areas are not exposed to the ocean. So that
okay, so we're done with the weather. We already know what's going on. I'm not going to sit here and listen to a whole, like, even the Train of Truth is here. It's like, Rick, you made the right decision. You know, the storm, it's only going to impact us coastal wise. It's going to be some beach erosion, maybe some high surf, you know, just for the boarders and for those who are out there fishing. It's not a good time to be out there with the strong system. It's not smart. I got more stuff for us to watch. So I got a lot of stuff for us to watch, actually. Let me actually come over here for 1 second. But yeah, how you doing, man? You gonna be here Saturday for the psychic readings? Because we're doing this on Saturday. Whoever comes, whoever doesn't matter. What matters is if you're here, you're definitely gonna get a reading. So I'm just checking some stuff out here just to make sure. I know I got some Tyson Delacruz to show. He did do an upload today, actually last night. So trains are going wild today. We got a lot of trains. Train of Truth is here. They know the Train of Truth. Everyone knows the Train of Truth. And Saturday is going to be very interactive. So just be ready for that. It is going to be a lot. I'm setting myself up for it. I'm hoping that my energy is strong enough to do what I need to do to get these readings accomplished, which I think I am more than capable of doing. So, but definitely Saturday at 10 in the morning, be here or don't be here. It's up to you guys. Let me see here. Come over here. Let's actually check out some news real quick. Let me close this out. Let me open this. Let's check out this this weird story that happened today. This story was like really weird. This happened a couple of days ago, but I want us to watch it together. So let's take a quick look, and then I'll be right back. Let's see this. Look at this plane. Holy shit. Saw that? That was a hard landing.
Someone called the ambulance? Call the ambulance. Call the ambulance. Someone will be here.
That's a crazy scene. Holy shit. You saw that plane crash? That's crazy. What hole was that? What a landing. I think this was in Australia. Wow, you see how it hit? Damn, why he didn't glide it in? Why did he hit it so hard? Oh, look at them running. Yeah, he lost it. Oh, he fell down. Look at even the guy fell down. Running to go help. Yo, that's some dedication, man. Oh my god. That is wild. And the fact they caught it on camera. Like the cameraman deserves like all the credit on this thing here because like the cameraman was in perfect position with his plane crash. This why nobody's ejecting the like how come nobody's getting out of the plane? What's going on here? Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. It's only 2 minutes long, so we could go back and watch. But look at this. Why did he? That's a hard landing to begin with. Let's slow it up, and we're gonna watch it on a slow mo. So let's go ahead and check out the slow mo. Oh shit, that's not the slow mo. Give me 1 sec. Come on, settings. Here we go. Let's go with a little slow mo, and let's watch. Oh, it's coming down quick. But why did he turn? He banked it to the right. Oh, that's a hard hit. You know, you're lucky he didn't hit the tree. Yo, not for nothing, but he could have landed a lot smoother than that, unless he had some major steering issues and had no thrust because that fell down really hard. It fell down so hard that even the guy that was running down the hill here to go help. Let's go ahead and put it normal. This guy right here, look at this. He loses his hat and then he falls down. Holy shit.
Someone called the ambulance? Call the ambulance.
Ambulance? You better call rescue, call the police, call everybody. That's a plane crash. And the fact that people, that's wild. I hope the people are okay that are in that plane. Man, that was a hard hit. Here it is, one more time. Boom! Yo, all hats to the guy who lost his hat and fell down. He went tumbling down. Look. He loses his hat. He loses his hat and he goes whoop. He falls down. He gets back up and he keeps running.
Call the ambulance. Call the ambulance.
Wow, that's wild. What a wow. That's they're very lucky. Very, very lucky to be alive. If they're alive, I don't know. It seems like they're alive. That's crazy. Let's go to more news because I got a couple of windows open that we got to watch because I haven't seen it yet. But there is a shooting at Villanova. What's going on here at Villanova?
We are following some breaking news out of Pennsylvania. Police responding to reports of an active shooter on the campus of Villanova University. You are looking
What?
at live images now of the police response here. You can see
More
officers
shootings
surrounding the building on the roof as
going
well.
on.
The school sent an alert to students and residents telling them to move to a secure location, to lock and barricade their doors. People are also being told to avoid certain areas on campus as well. Law School, Scarpa Hall. I'm joined now by a Villanova professor, Keith Wright. He's joining me on the phone. Professor Wright, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Thank you for being here with us. It's my understanding right now that you are one of the many people on campus that's currently barricaded themselves. Is that correct?
Yes, we are all in lockdown. We received a text message, and they told us immediately to lock down and barricade yourself where you are.
And where are you, and who are you with?
I'm in a restaurant across the railway tracks from Scarpa Hall. In the law school, I can see broken glass. There's definitely been an active shooter, and that's where the SWAT team is right now. They seem to have focused in on the law school.
So, okay, you're across the street from Scarpa Hall. This is the law school area, and you're telling me that you can see broken glass. What's broken? Is it a window? Is it a door? What floor is it on?
It's windows. It looks like there's windows broken. It's probably three stories high. So there's broken glass, and there's an Amtrak that runs right through the middle of the campus, and I'm on the other side of the Amtrak, so I can see Scarpa Hall and the law school right across from where I am.
And if you can see the windows, you said multiple windows are broken. Were you able to hear anything? Did you hear gunshots?
You know, there's so many people on campus. I didn't hear anything because it's orientation.
And why are we talking to you?
Classes begin on Monday, and there's just thousands of
going on here.
Parents and students. There's so many people on campus that I honestly didn't hear anything. And then I got an alert, just a text message on my phone through the Nova alert system, and they just said immediately shelter in place, which everyone did.
And I have to let you go here. We're almost out of time, but could you just, because someone was talking in my ear, the windows that you saw that are broken, how many of them, what floor were they on?
It looks like 3 or 4 on the second and third floor of the law school.
Second and third floor. Okay. Professor Wright, please stay in touch with us. We want to check back in with you in a little bit.
Don't stay in touch with him. He don't know shit.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor Wright. So again, you just heard there from a professor on campus who's saying they do believe there was an active shooter. They're seeing multiple broken windows. There is an active police response right now.
Like, stay with me. Like, stay with you with what? He didn't even see shit. He saw a couple of windows blown out. I mean, that makes him an expert witness? I don't think so. This is crazy. Crazy. Let's go to more news. I tell you, it doesn't get better. It gets stupider. But it gets better. It's getting a lot better for one individual today. Got some good news, and that's our president, President Trump. Got some good news today. Let's check it out.
New push to end the war in Ukraine, just as Russia carries out its biggest strike in weeks.
Meantime, there's a major legal victory for President Trump today. Our D.C. Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy live at the White House now with much more. Ben?
Today's Calvin, we're talking about nearly $500 million with Trump and his supporters calling this a big win in a ruling that is now facing an appeal. An appeals judge gave President Trump a major victory in New York, throwing out a nearly $500 million civil fraud penalty, with the panel ruling the fine was excessive and violated the 8th Amendment. On social media, the commander-in-chief touted the win, saying, "I greatly respect the fact the court had the courage to throw out this unlawful and disgraceful decision that was hurting business all throughout New York State. It all stems from a lawsuit filed by the state's attorney general, Letitia James, that accused Trump of inflating his net worth to secure better loans and insurance deals. James says her case has merit, and in a statement said, "We will seek appeal to the Court of Appeals and continue to protect the rights and interests of New Yorkers." Today's decision was not unanimous and leaves Trump still liable for fraud in this case. It comes as the administration is focused on peace in Europe this week.
And I have a feeling you and President Putin are going to work something out.
After back-to-back meetings with Ukraine's President Zelensky and Russia's Vladimir Putin,
I'm expecting World War III.
Pointing the finger directly at Putin, drawing parallels with a picture of Richard Nixon pointing his finger at USSR leader Khrushchev in 1959, writing, "This is a war that would have never happened if I were president, zero chance." Thursday, the Kremlin launched its largest strike on Ukraine in more than a month, officials say, with more than 500 drones and 40 missiles, targeting the western region of the country. The attack also struck an American-owned manufacturing company and injured at least 19 people, with a spokesperson for the company stressing they do not produce, supply, or support any military equipment. And one holdup for peace talks does center on security guarantees Russia says they want to be involved. The White House also states that it would not include U.S. boots on the ground in Ukraine. Janice, Calvin?
And Ben, we understand Trump will be leaving the White House behind you soon to patrol the streets of Washington with law enforcement.
Denise, you're right. In fact, Trump will see his efforts to combat crime firsthand in just a bit. He'll meet with members of the military and law enforcement. It's been about a week since the federal takeover, which has faced pushback from residents here in D.C. and also lawmakers, as we now wait for the White House to release details about the when and where it'll happen tonight.
Some surveys say 8 in 10 D.C. residents
they're not going
do
to tell
not like
you
the federal takeover.
everything.
Ben, thanks
They
a lot.
got to keep it secret. They can't just tell you because it's going to blow the security, that they're having. There's a lot of dangerous people. You can't just be very trustworthy, especially in Washington, D.C. D.C. is infested with criminals and illegals, and they're going to try to get them out. And I hope they do, because we need more ICE everywhere. We need ICE here in Connecticut for sure. They need to, like the other day, they took in 65 people. ICE did, and I say 65 is not enough. I think we need more. Those numbers need to be like 6,000, and that's not even enough. They need to get. There's a lot of them here, because Connecticut, so it is a sanctuary state. It's not even a sanctuary cities. They like all the cities here are pretty much sanctuary, and we definitely need these people to go back home. They got to go back. It's for one, rent is too high. Rent continues to go high every year. They're always upping the rent, because the reason why they up the rent, because there's not enough space. When there's not enough space and there's not enough availability, guess what happens? It gets jacked up. So when there's more availability and there's not much of demand, the prices go down. So that way they can attract the people back. Understand? So that's why I'm telling you, these illegals are causing our prices, from rents to insurance to food, everything, gas, everything is high. It's because we have too many people here and they're just using up all the resources. So in order to combat that increase of mouths and bodies, they have to raise up the prices to stabilize, and that way we have enough for everyone, but you're going to pay a higher price. We get rid of all the illegals, I guarantee you the rent prices will go down, the food prices will go down, the gas prices will go down. It's just common sense. But up here in Connecticut, you have a better chance convincing a wall to be your friend than you are to getting any of these elected officials to actually have some common sense, because they really don't. It's crazy. Let's go ahead and check out what's going on in DC.
Law enforcement and military personnel, and we can listen in here if he's talking.
Hey, Seven, how you doing?
Right where? Okay.
Exactly.
It's a healthy,
Seven.
attractive looking
It's
group of
just
people.
it's too many people, so they can't.
Well, I just want to
have
thank
the
everybody
money.
very much for
If there's
being here.
less
I wanted
people,
to do
they give
this.
you
We've
more.
had some incredible results. The results have come out, and it's like a different place. It's like a different city. It's the capital. It's going to be the best in the world. We're going to do what you're doing with law enforcement, and very importantly, also, we're going to physically do it. We're going back to Congress for some money, and we're going to redo a lot of the pavement, a lot of the medians, a lot of the The graffiti's all coming off real fast. It's going to come down real fast. We're working with Clark Construction. They're one of the big ones. They're the biggest here by far, actually. And we're going to be not so much building, it's cleaning and fixing and redoing and putting brand new surfaces down on your roads and streets. And when people come in from the airport all the way to the Capitol or the White House or any place else they go, and they're going to say, boy, this place is spotless.
Man,
so we're doing
I can't wait
Most
to go
importantly,
visit.
though, we're going to have a crowd of people that are going to be
only been
happy.
to
You know,
Washington
I've
one time,
received
but I just
more
drove by.
phone calls from people in the last
walked
4
in
days
Washington.
than I ever have. I've been here now 4 years plus. And by the way, I think we had about the best 7 months they're saying that any president's had. We've done a lot of work. We've done a lot of good work, including the biggest tax cuts that you've ever had. I know you guys don't care about taxes, so you don't care about saving a little tax, but you saved a lot of tax, actually. But we've had a great period of time. But I've never received so many phone calls thanking me for what we've done in Washington, D.C., from people that haven't gone to a restaurant literally in 4 years. And they said, you know, what you've done it's unprecedented, because what they said, it was just unsafe. We couldn't do it. We'd go out and you'd see the stories, you'd read the stories, you'd see all of the things that are happening. And they said, we couldn't stand it, sir. And now I take my wife and my kids to dinner. One of them said he's gone out 4 nights in a row, and he hadn't gone out for 4 years.
Wow.
So it's a great tribute to you. And when I look at you people, I understand
for
why.
the economy,
because
too.
there's no games, right?
At least
We're
for
not playing
that area.
games. We're going to make it safe. And we're going to then go on to other places, but we're going to stay here for a while. We want to
please
make this
come to Connecticut.
absolutely perfect. It's our capital.
Oh, please.
And
Please, I beg.
I guess it used to
I
be
beg.
many years ago, say,
Come
but
to
it's
Hartford,
certainly not had
Connecticut.
a very good run. And you got to be strong. You got to
London,
be tough. You got to
Connecticut.
do your job. Whatever it takes to do your job, you got to do your job.
All the cities.
But the crime
here.
numbers are way down. I'm looking at, you saw some of the stats. They just read them out to me inside. The numbers that we haven't seen here ever, actually ever. And I think it's probably right now, it's, to me, I feel very safe now, and I'm hearing people are very safe, but I know within 2 weeks, it's going to be, Pam, it's going to be at a level that's even far superior. So I just wanted to thank you all. You're doing incredible. You're incredible people. You make the country run, frankly. You make the whole place run. We're going to have the best Capitol ever. We're going to have it's going to look better than it ever did. Even at the White House, I'm building a ballroom. They've been after a ballroom for 150 years, but they never had a real estate guy as a president. You know, I've done a lot of ballrooms, and we're going to make this one the best of them all. But we're doing a real job. As far as the country's concerned,
and donators.
We're respected again. We had a country that was laughed at a year ago. They thought they couldn't understand what was happening. And it's about leadership. But we had a country that was a dead country in many ways. I went to Saudi Arabia. I went to Qatar. I went to UAE. We came back with $5.1 trillion of investment in this country. And we're over 17 trillion. Now, a lot of you don't know what that means. And nobody knows what it means because it's never happened before. In 5 months, because really it's a 5 month, even though we're here 7, but we started 5 months ago in terms of investment. And we have, because they see what's happened to our country, we're going to be over 17 trillion with a T, dollars of investment. There's never been anything close. If we did 1 trillion in a year, and we're talking about over a 5 month period, maybe 6 months if you look at it, but over $17 trillion. We're building plants, auto plants, AI plants, all sorts of plants all over the country. I'm giving them the right. Lee Zeldin's done a fantastic
don't pay
job.
attention to this
We're
stuff.
given the right to build electric plants. They become almost like a public utility because we have old grids. We have a lot of stuff that's old. We wouldn't be able to compete with China AI. And now we're totally leading the AI race and the artificial intelligence. It's a big deal. And it's the hottest thing there is for probably in 35, 40 years. It's a lot of people don't know what it is. Just trust me, it's very hot. It's big. But they need massive amounts of electricity. They need more electricity than we have right now in the whole country servicing everything. In other words, we have to at least double it up to be competitive and to be leading. And we're more than doubling it up. And what I'm doing is I'm letting all of these very rich companies, and they've got nothing but they got a lot of money, and they want to invest it in the United States, and they're building big plants, but they're building electric plants with it. I said, you build your building, and these are buildings that cost 30, 40, 50 billion dollars when you include everything that's inside, all the technology. I said, I'm going to let you build electric plants to fire your own electricity, and anything that you have left over, you sell it back into the grid.
Wow.
So all of these big factories that are being built are building their own electric plants fired by oil and gas. They're not fired by wind, by the way.
I did not know
wind
that.
doesn't work, but we won't say that.
That's
It
actually
destroys
not,
everything. It looks
not
horrible.
bad.
It's a very expensive form of
They're not
energy.
using the electricity
And
from
we're
the
not
grid.
doing
They're going to
wind.
use
We're
their own
going back to
electricity.
fossil fuel. I hope not too
They're
many
going to make their
people
own
are going to be
electricity.
upset, but we have to go
Wow.
back to what works. We can't be foolish. But
Listen,
we are
solar.
we're building massive electric plants all over the country. The companies are building, and then they sell it back into the grid. But we're building numbers that nobody's ever seen. We're auto plants. We have many auto plants going up, whereas during the last 4 years, as you know, we had like none. People weren't investing here. So where they weren't investing and they were leaving. But I just finished by saying this. So I was with the King of Saudi Arabia. I was with all of the NATO leaders a couple of weeks ago, and they are putting up not 2%, but 5%. They said 5% of GDP. That's a lot of money. They'll have trillions of dollars put up. They were putting up 2, but they weren't paying it. Now they're putting up 5, and they're all paying it. And they all said the same thing. They said, 1 year ago, your country was dead. We never thought it was coming back. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. These are the leaders of other countries, the prime ministers and the presidents, every one of them said essentially the same thing, said we had a dead country, and we felt that way. And we were.
Wow, he's
And
talking
this
right
place
to the
was
police
emblematic
and
of it with the
military.
crime, the horrible crime. And, you know, I watch these phony
Wow.
reports. Oh, we were on the way back. They weren't on the way back. It was worse than ever
Homeland Security,
just a short while ago. But now it's going to be,
FBI,
I think now, right
CIA,
now, it's better than it has been in years.
Border Patrol.
And in a couple of weeks, it's going to be
A lot
even
of
far better than
agencies.
that. And everybody's safe now. Everybody feels safe. And they're all coming in. And people are now coming in. They're making reservations to come in. They want to be in Washington, D.C. One of the things
I
we're
would
going to
like
be
to go to
redoing is
Washington,
your
D.C.
parks. I'm very good at grass because I have a lot of golf courses all over the place. I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world.
Trump
And
is
we're going to
funny.
be regrassing all of your parks, all brand new sprinkler systems, the best that you can buy,
Nice.
just like
I mean, they're
Augusta.
reinvesting
It'll look
in
like
the country.
Augusta. It'll look like, more
Why
importantly,
did they
Trump
even do
National
that?
Golf Club. That's even better. But we're going to have all brand new, beautiful grass.
No
You know, like
president
everything else,
has
grass
ever
has a
spoken like
life. Do you
this.
know that? Grass has a life. You know, we have a life and grass has a life. And the grass here died about 40 years ago. So we're going to be rebuilding all of your parks, and it's going to happen fast. It's going to go up like a miracle. So you do the job
Wow.
on safety, and I'll get this place fixed up physically. And we're going to be so proud of it at the end of 6 months. But let's say at the end of a year, this place will be maxed out in terms of beauty. You'll have all new surfaces. You'll have all new
Trump just smashed that
medians.
mic on the
Everything's
floor,
going to
like
look beautiful.
mic
A lot
drop.
of your signs are going to be taken down. They've been up for 40 years. They look like hell. They're barely standing up. They're falling off their holders. And we're going to have all new everything. And I want to just thank Doug for doing such an incredible job. He's
Listen, they're
been unbelievable.
reinvesting.
He's a popular guy.
Yo,
No, he's an
make
amazing
Washington,
guy.
D.C. great.
He's
you
an
know?
amazing guy. Everybody
our
love him. We
capital.
love you. And his wife is so
It
incredible.
should be
But
the
thank you
safest
very
place
much.
in
I
the world.
appreciate it. And Pam, thank you very much. What a job.
Look at
She's-
Pam. Oh, Pam's there.
People don't realize they're going to see she'll go down as the greatest attorney general we've had. I really mean it too. And where's my Christy? You're there. Thank you very much.
Christine,
She's
Homeland
been,
Security.
Incredible. And she can ride a horse like nobody. She gets on those horses. She rips those horses around. But I want to thank you very much. And Steve Miller, so fantastic. And Todd Blanche, who's been with me so long, and he's one of the best lawyers you'll ever find. And we're having a lot of victories. I had a victory today. You know, they stole $550 million from me with a fake case, and it was overturned. They said this was a fake case. It's a terrible thing, but that's a nice victory, you know. I mean, it's not bad. You know, we all have our limits, but this was a terrible thing that done. It was a witch hunt. And I've had more witch hunts than any human being, I think, in history. And here we are with the president of the United States. So it didn't work out too well for them. But maybe now it's turned a little bit. These are very dishonest people. We have to fight. We have to win because we have to win. And you people are winners. And I just think it's really, it's such an honor to be with you. And
that was a
we're
witch
going
hunt.
to make Washington, D.C. great again. We're making our country great again. The country is very close to being great. When they say it's the hottest country in the world, they mean it. And this capital is right now, after 4 days, 5 days, it's at a level that you haven't seen in a long time. And it's all because of you. So I want to thank you all very much. It's an honor to be with you. And we'll always be with you. We're going to be with you for as long as I'm around. You're going to be treated as nobody more important. And thank you all very much for being here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Doug, would you like to say something? Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey,
Oh,
click
man, I
here
wanna
to
see here.
subscribe
I mean, I
to
could
Fox
watch
News
the
YouTube page
thing.
and catch
I
our
watched it
hottest
on my
interviews
time.
and most compelling analysis. You will
I
not
was
get
getting
it
into it.
anywhere else.
I was getting into the whole speech and everything, and man, I feel like I got gypped. I know I could watch the whole thing. I could put it up. Do you guys actually want to watch the whole thing on that? Because I got really into it. Like I like being informed of what's going on, and the only way you get information is by listening. And a lot of people don't know how to listen. They know how to act and react. They know other ways of communicating, but listening is very tough, especially for a lot of people that just don't pay attention and don't really listen. It's good exercise to be informed of what's going on in our world and in our country and around the world. We got to know what the hell is going on. I love the psychic world. I love what I do. I love doing readings. It's a passion. It's more than a hobby. It's something that I was born pretty much to do. I was very magical from probably birth. I know I was not planned. That's for sure. I was not planned to be born, but I happened. And I'm here, and we just got to go on with that. Let's see. I'm trying to find, how long was that one? Give me one. I'm like looking. How long was this one? This one was 11 minutes. Trust me, I am looking for it. I do have one here from Forbes. I think I'm gonna go with Forbes. So let me check it out here. I'm gonna fast forward it because we already heard the president speak. So let me see if we could continue from where we left off. So give me 1 sec to set that up. All right, I think we're there. We're almost there. See, this is unedited. Okay, I do everything live. I mean, God bless everyone who does their editing. I don't got the patience to go through and edit stuff and edit videos. I just don't have. I don't think I have the patience of doing it like that. Like after a while, it's like you get like it gets annoying, and I'm not good. I get annoyed when it's just overcomplicated. And editing is not easy. It's a very hard task, and for those who does it, and like Tyson, that's just awesome. Let me take this out here and let me reopen it. Oh boy, Trump. Okay, here we go.
President Trump, on behalf of everybody that's here in law enforcement, I think I absolutely want to extend the gratitude to you, because under your leadership, you're bringing back respect for this profession. I know that wherever you go, and some of these folks know, wherever you go in the country, whenever I've been with you, backstage before you speak, who do you get a picture with? Local law enforcement, the federal folks that are there. You have always, in turn, your entire life supported law enforcement, and that makes a difference. These people know that. And the other thing, of course, for everybody here, President Trump's ended 6 wars. He's brought taxes down, regulations down. He's brought record foreign investment like he was talking about. He's done all of those things in 6 months. But what does he really care about? You hear him talk about the wars. He wants to end the killing. And here in D.C., he wants to end the killing. He wants to end it in every city in America, because if we're the greatest country in the world, you shouldn't be afraid to be able to go out for dinner. He cares about the people that live in this city and in every city. And that's why this is happening right now. And this is what leadership looks like, that in a matter of a week, this is a message to every city in the country, and it's a message to every capital in the world that America, the greatest country in the world, is going to have the most beautiful capital and the safest capital in the world because of all of you. So thank you, everybody that's here tonight. Thank you, President Trump, for making it all possible.
That's so cool.
Thank you. Pam?
Thank you all. President, I'm looking at all these faces. They're out here every single night. I'm getting to know everyone on a first-name basis. All of our great Metro PD, General Blanchard with the Guard, all of our federal agencies are out here, our amazing park police. They are working hand in hand to make DC safe. They're out here working midnights every night because they love our country, they love our city, and they love you. They're all telling me that. Are we going to get to meet look at them getting a thumbs up. They're all out here going, are we going to meet the president? I told you. So, and I think you brought some food for him, didn't you, President?
So we have great hamburgers cooked by the White House, and we have pizza that I said, don't do it in the White House, because we went to a place that makes the best pizza. So we'll concede. But we have a lot of it. So we're going to have some fun. We'll eat, and I'll eat with you, and we're going to have a little fun. We're going to celebrate, but then we're going to get back to work, and we're going to take care of these criminals. We're going to put them where they have to be. You're going to say, don't play around with us. Don't play around with us. So let's go have something to eat. You're going to like the hamburgers. Would you rather have hamburgers from the White House or pizzas from a good place, huh? Wow. I think you want, they want the hamburgers. Have a good time, everybody. Thank you very much. Christy, thank you very much, darling. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Listen, if I can have a meal from the White House, that's a fucking honor. You know what I mean? But that's cool, you know. He's there with the police. He's there with the agents.
Judge Janine is here. She's unbelievable. We have Leo 2.0. Whoa. Judge, I didn't see you over there. It's lucky I spotted her. It's lucky I spotted her. I would have been in big trouble. And Leo, Leo 2.0. We love Leo. He's a great prosecutor, that's for sure.
And this is such
they
a
both
great,
started off really as
history,
law
you know what I
enforcement
mean?
and top lawyers and judges and law enforcement. And that's how they became famous. Then they went into show business, and everyone thought, gee, were they real? But they were the real deal. And you're both doing great. Thank you very much. Pam, do you want to say something? Janine?
Not even JFK did.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of you. Every night when you hit the street, you make a difference, not just for us, but for everyone in the district. They are grateful for what you do. They are thankful. And I am making sure that we back the blue to the hilt. Every arrest you make, we're going to the longest way to make sure that we charge in those cases. So God bless you and thank you for what you do. You're making a difference. And Mr. President, without you, no one would even have tried. So thank you.
This is awesome, man. This is
30 seconds. Right, we have the greatest president in our lifetime protecting this country, and you guys have done a great job. And I've had the privilege to work with the greatest attorney general in Pam Bondi. This team really appreciate you. We want to thank you. You are doing the work that makes this country great, protecting America. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Man, I'm trying to think. Like Abraham Lincoln is probably one of the best. Who, I made a change, you know. It was impactful. I think Trump is another that he's a very impactful person for society, and he's trying to make things safer and he cares about us, the people. It's not like other presidents that really didn't even pay attention to the people, didn't even acknowledge the people, wanted their votes, but really didn't do anything for the people. And this is something that, one small step, right? And we have a big leap for mankind, and we have Trump, leading the way. It's amazing. He is amazing. That's so cool. All the agents, they got pizza, they got burgers, they getting it all, and Trump went to see them all and see the president. They're interacting with police and FBI agents, and it's a team. They work together. They are a team, and they're going after the criminals. They're going after the illegals. Washington is going to be safer. We're going to try to make Washington safe. And that's great. It makes me feel like I want to go to Washington, spend a day over there, spend a day or two and go, check out the monuments, check out the museum, check out everything, go to the White House. And that would be so awesome to go to the White House. That's so cool. The problem, people don't respect them. That's the issue. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has. It's like everybody has an ass, right? Well, this guy he's doing it. He's a man of his word. When he says something, he does it. And talking about edits. Give me 1 second. I don't know why my phone, I put it on silent and it still wants to make noise. And I put it on silent. All right, clear that out. Let me move this out the way here. Let's see. Let's see here. All right. So we're going to go and check out some more news. Let's see. Let's go over to who is this? This is the 5. Trump is going out to DC like a general. This is coming from Fox. So let's check it out together.
At any moment, President Trump is expected to go on patrol in D.C., riding alongside law enforcement and military personnel to witness firsthand the impact of his law and order crackdown, which so far it has delivered results. D.C. had a murder-free week as Attorney General Pam Bondi touted 77 more arrests last night in the federal takeover.
Wow.
Trump is following in the footsteps of his cabinet, who showed up at Union Station in D.C. yesterday. Vice President Vance, Pete Hegseth, and Stephen Miller visiting guardsmen, but they also got heckled by left-wing protesters.
They're going to crack down on that.
Out there, those crazy communists, they have no roots. They have no connections to the city. They have no families they're raising in this city. They're the ones who've been advocating for the 1%, the criminals, the killers, the rapists, the drug dealers. So we're going to ignore these stupid white hippies that all need to go home and take a nap because they're all over 90 years old, and we're going to get back to the business of protecting the American people and the citizens of Washington, D.C.
The media also expressing some outrage at Vance and Company.
For them to talk about that these policies or bringing the National Guard is to actually make it safer for Black
CNN.
communities is actually insulting.
I'm not surprised.
J.D. Vance took his campaign for the
MSNBC.
Republican presidential nomination to Union Station today to bring Shake Shack burgers to the National Guard troops.
They did not go to Union Station yesterday for fun. They did not go there to talk to the National Guard. They knew there were protesters there. They knew they went there to be on TV and to get these moments and get everyone talking about it.
Greg,
How do they think like that?
Time, not just to 2020.
They must be getting paid good to talk like
but
that.
farther back in time, like the 60s or 70s, when
They must
were
be getting
against
paid good.
Military.
Yeah, they can't win because the reflex is instinctive support for the bad guy because they've been brainwashed by their hatred for law enforcement, their hatred for Trump. So they end up defending the worst of the worst. You know, carjackers are just misguided teens. Spousal abusers are the Maryland dad. An alleged pedophile. He almost made it to be DC dad, but then he got caught. If terrorists flew planes into the building, they would blame it on Trump's love for tall buildings. They'd find a way. I don't think that the media has gotten to the realization that they can't do what they used to do. You know, you can't just grab disturbing footage of an arrest and portray the arrestee as a victim, because in a few hours, we always find out the guy is bad news. I love the ride along with Trump. He should try to make an arrest, maybe tase a molester. I would like that. And what Stephen Miller said, you know, it's ironic. Those are the guys that are defending the Black citizens of D.C. It's not white liberals. Those are the guys. You can paint them in their dark light as some kind of evil fascists, but they're the people that are actually making the city safer. And he's right about those protesters. We get them out here. Not one of them is under the age of 77. And if you go up, it's sad. And if you go up to one of the women, because they'll be yelling, and you go, "Excuse me, madam, where is your husband?" Their heads will explode. One last thing: the Dems willfully assume that systems cannot be corrupted, no matter what it is, whether it's asylum or transgenders in prison, illegals, criminal justice reform. They just think everybody's going to play by the rules. One guy actually claimed that ICE abducted his wife. And everybody freaked out until you saw a video of him dragging something that looked like a body from his house. But Democrats can't assume that, like, they know how to game the system, because you will believe any lie that comes your way. That guy ended up fleeing the country because he was able to lie about what happened to his wife, which he obviously killed.
Control Room, could you please play the other soundbite from Vice President Vance talking about taking back cities?
If you've got the political will to enforce the law, you can make even cities like DC safe again. And that's what we're demonstrating. I hope the American people just recognize that you don't have to live with lawlessness. You don't have to live with third world murder rates. If you just take control of these cities, you can make them safe places to live in.
Jesse, this reminded me of something that used to drive me a little bit crazy during the Biden administration, which, like, when they weren't doing anything for like a long time, and you think, well, didn't you go there to solve problems? Like, isn't that what you want to do? And they're solving problems, maybe on warp speed, might make some people uncomfortable. But I do imagine that there are people in other cities like Philly that you're familiar with saying, could we get some help around here?
Yeah, they should send the Guard everywhere. Biden could never walk the beat because he couldn't walk. And Kamala never did it because she was afraid of her prosecutor's shadow. I love that Trump's going out there like a general to inspect the troops. Sometimes I go walking through my pod to see my team booking and cutting tape, and I shake their hands and I introduce myself, and they're inspired. I'm inspired. I'm with Greg. This is the best episode of Cops we're ever going to see. I hope he does a field sobriety test on some sloppy drunk kid from Georgetown. I hope someone they arrest and they pull drugs out of their pocket, and Trump's like, "That's a lot of crack."
Pepper hair.
He goes out with the vice squad
Tyson.
and finds Adam Schiff trying to score some dope and some women at some seedy hotel on the wrong side of the tracks.
Women?
Didn't say that. Not that
they don't know what's a woman.
And the media's all worried about them getting heckled. Of course, it's DC. Any other politician would have astroturfed the station and had a bunch of guys in MAGA hats saying 4 more years. These guys didn't care. They rolled up, they rolled out, and that's fine. They keep saying, the left, even though she's to my right, that crime is down. Okay, homicides hit a 30-year high in 2023 in D.C. So they're down a little bit this last year. In an election year, that's suspicious because they just started juicing the numbers. We just found out they had to suspend a guy for going into the computers at his precinct and downgrading felonies to misdemeanors.
Trainer
Jessica,
Truth
did you
is
see
here.
our show last night?
Yeah, I was glued to the TV.
Good. So you saw the guy who runs the police union in D.C. say that when they get onto a scene and there's a kid with bullet holes all in his abdomen and one of the witnesses won't cooperate because it's gang related, a captain will come onto the scene and say, you know what, we're not going to call it a shooting. We're just calling it taking an injured guy to the hospital. Or if there's a stick up, armed robbery, guy's a gun, takes your cash and your phone, they'll come along and say, you know what, not armed robbery, we'll just call it a theft. It's a misdemeanor. I wouldn't be surprised if the word went out in an election year last year in D.C. from maybe somebody in the White House, they have to make the crime numbers go down. And I bet it's bigger than just Washington, D.C. I bet the word went out, and that's why you had all these, oh, crime's down. Trust me, Jessica, you guys, when we start looking under the hood, you're going to see a bunch of fake numbers.
One thing that amazes me about the contours
Yeah,
of
it
this
is fake
debate
numbers.
as it unfolds is that the right is making it about crime and public safety. I'm not sure what the left is trying to make it about, but Jessica, I'll give you a shot.
I think that the left is trying to make it about states' rights and being able to be in control of your own cities. JD Vance makes that argument to Laura Ingraham, like if you just let us in to take control, but it's states' rights when it suits the right, and then they don't care about it at all when it doesn't suit them. And we should be able to take care of our own cities. That doesn't mean that everything has been run perfectly, of course, but in terms of these doctored numbers, for instance, and the trend lines, well, they were good enough to do President Trump and Kash Patel. I mean, Kash Patel stood up in that press conference.
They didn't know they were doctored.
But
DC isn't a
shouldn't
state.
they know? Okay. Sorry. Well, but JD Vance is talking about the whole country, that if they just let them in, and they went into Los Angeles as well. Anyway, I think Donald Trump going out on patrol will be a huge win for him. It'll be like McDonald's, it'll be like the garbage man, and we'll be talking about it for a long time. It's made for social media. It's perfect in that sense. And, I defended an alleged child rapist yesterday by accident. So I don't really have many legs to stand on, but I am going to, which I apologize for. And I would like that to be duly noted. But, you say like it's all old white hippies that are protesting this, but there's mass disapproval of what they're doing within DC. And it's not just from old white people. It's from Black people. It's from Latino people. And when you take
whenever
$1
they're
billion,
interviewed, they're like, thank God I can actually use the subway.
they took $1 billion out of
wild.
the DC budget, and they said they were going to put it back, and they haven't. And that money would have gone to supporting school programs. It would have been going to pay cops, for instance. Donald Trump should work with Muriel Bowser and the police chief to make DC safer. instead of this
She needs to be
authoritarian
fired.
I lived there for many years. It
She-
doesn't
She's
how
part of
much
the problem.
you throw at it. Kennedy,
You're not going to throw money at her.
It hadn't gotten better.
Well, I think
Yeah,
you can
she's
look
going to
at
run it
public
better.
safety when you
That's
look
the
at
reason why they
schools.
took over.
And no matter how much money, how many
She's doing a
millions of
horrible
dollars
job.
you put into a student throughout their life in that system, they don't come out literate on the other end. Muriel Bowser had an opportunity to work with the president. And at first
Exactly.
she said she was going to, and then she did an about face. I don't disagree with you. I actually don't like the National Guard being the ones who are in charge of law enforcement. I think if you are looking at DC under the federal
There's a
umbrella
reason
as
why.
part of home rule, then I think it should be federal law enforcement. And, that may be splitting hairs, but I've always had an issue with the militarization of law enforcement. And I think we have enough federal law enforcement that they could be doing a great job right now. And, you've got Homeland Security agents, you've got U.S. Marshals,
but a
you've
lot
got
of them could be
FBI
corrupt,
agents,
too.
and I think you could make a coalition and do the same thing.
Trump
And
doesn't
I
trust
think what the
them.
vice president is saying is, if this has been so effective in a week,
that every crime-plagued city in America can do the
You don't
same
trust
thing
them.
without federal law
They raided
enforcement,
his home
without
in
militarization,
Mar-a-Lago.
and they should
Hello?
be doing that.
Like, you think
But
he's
they
just
have
gonna trust
abdicated their
these agencies?
responsibility
He's like,
to
oh
the
yeah, I'm gonna
citizens
put
of
my
these
FBI
cities,
and
especially
CIA
in
out
the
here,
poorest
the people that
districts.
try to
So you get to
raid
a
my
point where,
wife's
you know,
fucking
when you
drawer to
only
sniff
have
her
just
panties.
shy of 300
Like, are you
homicides
kidding
in a
me?
year, we want to throw a parade. No,
Oh
every
man,
single one of those lives
is
meant something,
like
but not when you're trying to fudge
people
the
don't pay
numbers with
attention.
fuzzy math
That's the
in order to
problem with
show a
us
better
here in
case for
America.
yourself. Because the bad case is what people feel when they walk around. People feel unsafe in DC. You can
Yeah.
say whatever you want, but if you feel bad, you're not going to want to live there and you're not going to want to visit.
All right. At any moment, President Trump is set to go on patrol with law enforcement. So we will keep an eye on that and bring it to you. But coming up next, Gavin Newsom is going nuclear in the gerrymander arms race.
That's crazy. I
I'm gonna
ain't
punch-
gonna watch that shit. can't stand this gel-haired motherfucker. This guy has more gel. Like, I wonder if he has stock on these like gel companies, because he must use like at least like half of a bottle of gel just to put that mug together. That no wonder he's so fucking crazy in the head. Too much gel. I wonder what type of medicines is in that gel that he puts in his hair. Because you know, medicine can be transferred through your skin. And if you put like gel that has medicated gel in your hair, it can make you like Gavin Newsom. And you don't want that. This guy is a lunatic. This guy is horrible. I was just saying, he's just so horrible, not good. Let's go to some other news here. Let me just switch out here, and let's check this out here.
I do want to bring in Harrison Fields, Special Assistant to President Trump and Principal Deputy Press Secretary at the White House. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today.
Let's see.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, the numbers are all
First
fake.
off, I
I know
want to
that.
ask you, because again, this
They're being
information here
downgraded.
is
Yeah, I know
just
that.
coming in from President Trump
Reporting,
really
yeah.
moments
I
ago.
know.
What can you tell us about
Okay.
exactly
Perfect.
what his
Yep.
plan is
Liberal hive
and what
mind.
the
Yep.
goal overall
I
of
watched
this
Liberal
crime
hive mind.
crackdown is?
Well, one
I'm
thing I can
subscribed to
say
him.
is that the
I
details
was
will
thinking
be
we could like
coming
Tyson.
soon about this. Obviously, this is going to be a
all I do is watch the
movement
news.
that will require a significant security
Maybe.
presence, and we want to keep some of those operational
I got a
details
lot of time on
under
my
wraps
hands.
until the president leads
So
on this
I
issue.
get
But what I can
informed.
tell you is that yesterday we saw the vice president go to Union Station. Union Station is notorious in Washington,
I
D.C.
know.
for having a very
You know
large
what the
homeless
chain of command
population,
was? I was
also
like,
a
you
lot of
are-
crime
you
in
know
that
what?
area. So for the U.S. vice president to visit there
I
yesterday,
either.
just a
That's what
week
that screams
after
to me.
President Trump has really
Especially
taken
the
over the
mayor,
city,
too.
it goes
The
to
police
show you that the
chief and the
measures that
mayor.
the president, that the attorney general,
need
and
to,
the
go.
Make America Safe Again team are doing are working. The American people here in Washington, D.C.,
Listen,
both residents, workers, and
they had
tourists,
4
are
years under
extremely
Biden
grateful to feel
to fix
safe
Washington,
again.
D.C.
Just look at the numbers.
And
It
they
has
did
been 1
nothing.
week. And
And
you've
the
seen
crime
zero
was
homicides. You're
out of
also
control.
seeing large
I
decrease in
think
the percentage of
what happened to
carjackings,
Big Balls
robberies, burglaries, and
and the fact
assaults,
the way
and
he
other
got
violent
jumped,
crimes. The president
that was
is
enough
giving
was
the
enough.
police the latitude
And
to do
Trump,
their job,
that's it,
and the
lay
streets
down
of
the law.
DC are safer
Fuck you,
because of it.
mayor. Fuck you.
And I
police
did want
chief.
to ask, when you
We're
have
taking
folks
over.
on the other side of
And
the
that's it.
aisle who are
End
saying
of
that
story.
this is not a good idea, they're protesting
And
against it. You have some of the folks
this is
there in DC doing the
perfectly
same. What do
awesome,
you
man.
say to them?
The media
A lot of these people don't live in
have
the high
problems.
crime areas of Washington, D.C.,
The
and they
media
have the
has
luxury
problems. The
of
leftist
protesting
media, like
common sense.
MSNBC,
What you have
CNN,
is liberals
CBS,
protesting law
don't
enforcement. This is the
make me
same
name them
party
all.
that wanted to defund the police, or as they
Don't
like
make
to say,
me name them all.
reimagine policing. But what it actually does, it puts
Who's
at-risk
controlling
people
that?
in harm's
Who's making
way.
them
You
say
see
that?
in Washington,
That's what
D.C.,
we
in
need to
Wards
find
7
out.
and 8,
That's
crime
what
is out
we
of
need to
control.
find out. Who
People
is
deserve to
mandating
feel safe in
these
their neighborhoods. And if you have the
these
luxury
media
of
companies
living in a
say what they
low-crime
say
neighborhood,
to
you
the
should
public?
not be protesting us keeping people in high crime neighborhoods safe. It's actually a disservice to their fellow Americans, and it goes to show you their massive privilege that they can protest such a thing when the people living in these neighborhoods are welcoming the additional police presence there.
Harrison, I do want to talk about another story that's been making headlines nationwide right here. A lot of people have seen this video as a man who was in the country illegally charged with killing 3 people in a crash there on the Florida Turnpike, making that illegal U-turn, according to investigators, and causing the wreck. We know that man, Harjinder Singh, will be transported to Florida from California, where he was arrested. We actually have this live image just coming in. That is the plane that he is believed to be on here, and you can see they are going to take off. He's going to be extradited. But wanted to get your take overall and the White House take on this entire situation.
Well, this actually hits very close to home. We have a home, my family, in Port St. Lucie. This is just miles away from my mother and grandfather where they live. We travel on the Florida Turnpike often. This hits extremely close to home. And what it speaks to is a greater problem that unfortunately has a political lens to it, is that you have failed Democratic leadership in the state of California that allowed this man to get a CDL license in which he was able to drive on Florida's highway and do something unthinkable, take a U-turn, unauthorized U-turn, in the middle of a busy highway, taking the lives of 3 Floridians. It's absolutely insane that this was able to happen. It speaks to a lot of larger issues. The immigration crisis that we witnessed for the last 4 years, that the American people overwhelmingly voted against in favor of President Trump's Make America Safe Again agenda. But you're also seeing the incompetence in giving someone who is not supposed to be in this country, who doesn't even speak the language, an ability to get behind such a devastating vehicle potentially, and which we saw cause massive damage and the loss of life. So the president is extremely troubled by the situation. We thank the Florida governor. We thank the senators of the state, Ashley Moody and Rick Scott, for their leadership and teaming up with this administration to make sure nothing like this happens again. And let me tell you, the Trump administration, through the Department of Transportation and other agencies, are making sure that English is a necessity when getting behind one of these big vehicles, but also that we never allow this amount of illegal immigration to happen. And we're seeing massive success at the border with zero entries into this country. The American people voted for this, and President Trump is delivering.
My last question for you here. We've obviously seen that video that was posted. We showed it a short time ago by the White House, and that kind of raised awareness of this case in general. It's not clear if it would have made national attention. So is the White House looking to use this case as an example of what the White House and President Trump are looking to do when it comes to
justice? They deserve attention to this mass like this. Look at Rachel Moore in Maryland. Look at Laken Riley in Georgia. Look at the countless other victims of illegal immigrants, violent crime, but also the scourge of fentanyl, which obviously came through the southern border. So there's countless stories that are extremely devastating. Many people in Florida have been impacted by illegal immigration in many ways. Florida is not a sanctuary state. We have Republican leadership in my home state, which is protecting the American people. When you have states like Gavin Newsom's California, we don't want Florida happens again. And this is why the president has dedicated so many resources to deport people who are not supposed to be here.
All right, Harrison Fields, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here. Anything that you want to add about any of this before I let you go?
We had a crime problem in this country. The president has addressed it, and I've always said the president doesn't need to do any of this. He's the most protected man in the world. People, the law-abiding citizens who are under siege in American cities. We, the American people, deserve to feel safe. And when you have the Democratic Party and some in the media telling them, well, the data says you should feel safe, but the American people say we don't feel it, we don't see it. The president is here to answer their call. He is looking out for the forgotten men and women of America, keeping them safe, making this economy great again, making our streets safe again. And this president is committed to fulfilling the mandate that nearly 80 million Americans voted for, and he's doing so at record speed and with massive success.
All right, Harrison Field, Special Assistant to President Trump, Principal Deputy Press Secretary there at the White House. Obviously a lot going on. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here. We appreciate it.
Of course, take care.
All right, so that, I'm telling you, it just makes me mad, especially that the guy was from India, so he's Indian. He had no emotions, no like, oh fuck, like, you know, like, oh shit, like feeling some kind of remorse, you know, some kind of emotion, some kind of like, oh my god, I just killed 3 people, like nothing. He was just like that. He was like, they ran into me. Like, what is going on? And then I've been on that highway before. I lived in Florida. I was born in Miami. So I've been on the highway many times. Like, I would say over 100 times. Easy. The turnpike, every time I used to go to Orlando, like, that's the route to take. You take the turnpike. And I used to go to Orlando all the time. Like, I'm telling you, about 100 times, easy. You're not supposed to do U-turns on the turnpike. The only places where you could do a U-turn and turn around is at the service stations, like at the rest stations, at the rest stops. They do have like big rest stops where they have restaurants inside, and they have the restrooms, and they have, like, you know, the little arcade room for the kids, and it's a rest stop. Well, there you could U-turn and go around and go to the opposite way. If you are going the wrong way or you miss the exit, you know, that's the only way you could do is go to the rest stop, do the U-turn there, and then go back. Yes, it takes some time. It is probably a little bit more time consuming. You should have been more paying attention if you missed the stop or you missed your exit. It's no excuse for this truck to cross. This is a 4-lane highway, 2 lanes on each side. He crossed from the outside lane into the in to do the U-turn. First of all, you're not supposed to do any U-turns there, but this guy did the fucking U-turn. Cross over, not even look back. You would look fucking back to see if a fucking car's coming. As a fucking truck driver, you'll stick your fucking head out just to make sure that nobody's fucking coming before even trying to attempt that type of turn. And then the car hits the 18-wheeler, and he's like, the truck on park, not even put his hands up or anything. He just like, no. Oh man, let's bring in Tyson. Give me one. There you go. Yo,
what's up, man?
What's going on?
What's going on? How was physical therapy?
Oh man, bitch, it was painful. My therapist, she's really good, but too good, I think.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it, man.
How's everything, man?
Good, bro. Good. Did he already go on patrol? I didn't see it.
He should be out there now. I have not been. I was just playing some of the stuff that was going on throughout the day. I could check.
It's so wild to me. That they're so apprehensive. Protesters, liberals are so apprehensive about safety in the streets. It's wild to me.
Yep. Well, the fact that they didn't even do any safety for Washington D.C. for like the 4 years that Biden was president, no one in D.C. even acknowledged the crimes and acknowledged the carjackings, the murders, the illegals that are there. Like there's so many illegals in Washington. I'm surprised that they're still there.
Right? Exactly. And it's wild also because, not too long ago, everybody was about BLM. BLM,
Mhm.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then now crime goes down, and then they're upset about it. I thought Black Lives Matter. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're like. Every day it's always something, right? It's like something new coming out, and some kind of problem or some like they come out with these numbers, right? The false numbers you were just talking about. Like I know they're doing that. I can feel the energy. So I know they're falsifying it because there's no way in hell in Washington D.C. dropped 30-something% in crime, and everywhere else around the outside is high. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the numbers around Baltimore, around those areas of like Maryland, and compare those numbers to Washington. How is Washington now the safest?
Yeah.
Yeah, do the numbers. Bring all the numbers. The city. Just go around the districts and just bring in all those numbers and then see all the reports and cross check. Because I tell you right now, there's no way in hell that they went down 30 whatever percent they want to make up in violent crimes or whatever type of crimes they're trying to acknowledge. I think is far worse.
Yeah. You mean initially when they pulled the report before the National Guard came out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I've said it, and I think we kind of briefly talked about it in the chat a little bit, but it's the underreporting, it's the underpolicing. If there's not crazy amount of police officers available to report crimes and to do reports,
mm-hmm.
Of course crime's going to go down. If people aren't reporting crimes, of course crime's going to go down. If they're reducing, just like you had showed a clip with Jesse Waters and Gutfeld, they are downgrading crimes. They are downgrading car thefts to person borrowed my car. Like domestic violence disputes are marital disagreements or whatever.
Yeah, something misdemeanor, like someone got shot up. They're gonna say, well, he just needed transportation to the hospital.
Yeah, transportation services.
The guy got shot up. Like nothing to see here.
Yeah, kind of like what they were doing with C-19. Everybody was dying from C-19. COVID. They were dying from COVID.
But what happened now?
But it was pneumonia.
Yeah. People were getting pneumonia, and then the problem was they were getting them oxygen, and you're not supposed to do that, and it more enhanced their pneumonia, and
Yep.
But
everybody's got COVID. Everybody got COVID.
It's fucking crazy times, man. That was. You know what, man? We deserve like a reward for surviving. One, for surviving that bullshit, and two, surviving Biden years.
Facts. And I just want an apology, and I want to see some people go to jail. That's me personally.
And I want my videos put back up on YouTube.
There we go. Exactly. I want a formal apology to the people that didn't get to see their parents, when they were dying. I have a buddy of mine out in LA. His mom died. She was in the hospital. He didn't get to see her. He didn't get to spend time with her while she died. And then it took them like so many weeks before they could even see the body because of the restrictions. So they had to push back the funeral. It was horrible. Those people
Man.
deserve an apology. The athletes deserve an apology. Like, yo, they were injecting stuff in their body, passing out, and they knew about it. You know, like you knew it was fake. Everybody else did. And these people were passing out on the field. Healthy young adults were dying and passing out from cardiovasculitis. Is wild.
Like drop dead Fred type of shit. Like,
Yeah.
we had drop dead Fred scenario, and then we had Weekend at Bernie's. Like,
Yep.
what the fuck? We went from the COVID to Biden, and I compare it to those two movies because like Biden was like Weekend at Bernie's. That dude was half alive. Most of the time, I think he had a body double. I don't know who's who at this point with Biden. That's a whole mess.
Oh yeah. That was a classic movie, by the way. Weekend at Bernie's, man. He stopped on the music. He was like,
yeah. He was in, man. He was more alive dead than he was alive. Yeah. That was such a good movie too. It's such a funny movie.
Yeah.
But man, Biden, man, he okay, this is my question, right? With the Washington DC and with going on with Trump. Okay, why Biden didn't budget the amount of money that Washington DC needed to properly run and hire more officers and get the situation under control? How come he just didn't bother to do it? He didn't bother to acknowledge it, even to acknowledge it.
yeah. Yeah, he was a very much like a closet president, very much closet president. It kind of I was thinking about this because I was looking at the votes specifically in sanctuary cities and blue cities and states and things like that. And they brought in a lot of illegal migrants into these sanctuary cities and sanctuary states.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look at the votes, those areas are predominantly black,
Mm-hmm.
Hispanic, and they don't generally vote. And
no, they don't.
It was my kind of thought that you bring in these migrants so they would vote and fill in the vote for the black vote, for the Latino vote, So.
Mm-hmm. No, you're on the right track on that one. And the fact that a lot of people don't go and vote because they say the person, whoever's going to win, no matter what, if I go or not, my vote doesn't really count, and they just don't go, not knowing that their vote really does count. And
it does.
It's very important. It's like complete opposite.
It does. It counts not only in the presidential election, but also local elections too. People, a lot of, and this is black culture. This is Hispanic culture.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much with Hispanic culture, but they don't generally vote for local elections, and then they always complain about what's happening, and it's wild to me. Like, just go out and vote.
Right? It's like, just vote. It's not hard to do. I mean, what's the fear?
But then you catch them at an Usher concert or or they'll be all about the Travis Scott concert. I'm being very stereotypical here, but like they'll be at a Travis concert, and have to work the next day. But then they'll be like, "Oh, I had to work. I didn't have time to vote." Like, bro, you had time to vote.
But yeah, time to go to that concert, right? You had time. Yeah, you had the money too. It's like they're like, yeah, I didn't have any transportation. How the fuck did you get to the concert then? Oh,
yeah, how'd you get to Travis Scott, bro?
Oh, poor I don't know, man. Society. I'm like I said, I was rooting for the asteroid to hit us.
There was a little side note. There was actually a meteor shower here close to Nevada.
Nice.
I think it was Nevada, Arizona, Utah. This was last week, last Friday, Saturday. I didn't have the opportunity to go check it out, but It looked pretty cool.
Nice. Well, you know, it's that time of the year where we're getting this. It's there's a lot of things coming our way that's gonna like wake people up. Like it's gonna bring some kind of like reality that we truly are not the only ones. And the fact that we are so negative and the Democrats are so negative and the media is so negative, I believe they're attracting something here. That energy is attracting, and I believe they're trying to bring things this way. And it's what else could it be, man? How those people think that way? How do the Democrats think that crime is okay? Like getting your car broken into and your stuff gone or your car even gone is okay. Like
that is wild to me. I was on TikTok looking at, some feeds for the Washington, D.C. situation, and people were ecstatic to be able to be at a red light with their windows down or be able to go to the gas station and not be afraid to get their car jacked. Wild to me.
Dude, that it's just to me it blows my mind, it's just. And then what ICE is doing, right? And here in Connecticut they had an operation. It was a 4-day operation where they picked up 65 individuals, and they all had like serious crimes. They were all like not good. But the people here, you can hear them shouting loudly that ICE is garbage and ICE needs to go, and they're kidnapping our people now. It's like this is a sanctuary state. Like this place needs Trump's attention. Like I'm trying to go like this until Trump, come to Connecticut. Connecticut is worse than Boston. You think wool is a problem? Come see Lamont and have fun.
Yeah.
Governor Lamont has not been talked about at all. He's been like one of those like, but he knows what's coming, and he's so protective of these immigrants, and it's like we don't have the money or the budget for the schooling out here, but yet we have the money to house these people, to feed these people, to transportate these people. Like it all affects the chain of command and society. Like everything's all high and expensive because our rent is super high. We have no availability. So since there's no availability, the market goes up. So the prices go up for what you're not going to get any good quality because everything, the good stuff is like 2,000 and up.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Like a place that used to cost $600 a month is now $1,200.
Yep.
So
it's it's interesting because so many of these sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, they got so much money from COVID relief, migrant relief, all this other stuff during the Biden administration, and it artificially propped up their budgets. It artificially propped them up almost like a pump and dump on a business where an insertion of money came in and it artificially showed that this state was successful. But now all this funding is on the line. Some of it's already gone away. And then now you get to see that how poor the leadership actually was. Just because there was an insertion of money, it doesn't mean that the leadership was good. Now that we see like all the funding being taken away, you see, oh man, this actually wasn't what we thought it was. This wasn't what it was. Now, all these, Democratic leaders they're being exposed, man. They're being exposed for their poor leadership, money mismanagement. $325 million in Boston, man. What? For migrants? Come on, man.
That's crazy, man. Because you gotta understand the housing, the healthcare, the food, like I said, transportation, like all that, it just adds up, and that hurts us because they're taking money from our system, the Social Security system. So it's like they were trying to bankrupt Social Security.
Yep. You know, I'm proud of Nevada because they were labeled as a sanctuary state, and Lombardo said, "Hey, great. What do you need to bring the National Guard in? We'll help out. Whatever we need to do." And just by doing that, like not necessarily saying no, like we're not going to bring them in. They brought them in, and they're just doing administrative tasks. You know, like they're just handling paperwork, handling processing, and things like that. But then that's working together with the administration. You know, like Wu could do that, Newsom can do that. All these people can do it. It's not hard.
No, but they don't put the effort. They don't put the time. They don't care. You know, you think Newsom is actually running California right now? He's so busy with his hair gel. He's worried about his photo, his muscular photo, AI photo that's fake as hell. That's showing him all ripped up with his arms and stuff, and like, and then the crew that he was talking with were like, oh man, I can't. I spoke about it yesterday.
Yeah. Newsom, you know, Newsom's making a run for 2028. And
yeah, I know.
He's doing everything he can. You know, when he launched the podcast, he was kind of center. I give him this. He's charismatic, but he's also charismatic in the same capacity as a used car salesman on the corner of Main and 5th. You know, like that type of charismatic. And he's not doing anything for California. He's over here just tweeting, you know, making these photos, like trying to negate everything that he did from the time that he's been in California. I'm like, dude, this is not going to work for you. This isn't going to work for you.
I know. It's like he thinks he's a teenager or a young adult. Like he's making, like he's trying to be cool and hip. He's hanging with the young crew, like Kamala's people, because these were all Kamala Biden's people. So he's being influenced by, like, he's trying to be like their cheerleader, and then he's trying to like take control, and I'm gonna be the authority, and I'm running for president, and like, really.
There's wildfires going on right now in California. Like, handle that.
Yeah. Well,
like,
he has not spoken about it.
No. Handle the businesses closing, you know? Like, handle the streets, the street takeovers. Yeah, like handle something, do something. You know? I watched a video clip from him when he ran for governor, and he was talking about, you know, the homeless crisis and housing and all this other stuff, and none of that has been done. More homeless than ever. People are outpriced in California. The whole fire situation that happened 6 months ago is a whole nother situation. Homeless. It's wild, man.
It is. Well, have they released any of the permits yet for the rebuilding?
Not very, very, very little. Very little. The other, you know, the other concern with some of that is a lot of those buildings were old, you know, a lot of those homes were old, like 1960s, 1950s and things like that.
But very expensive.
Yeah. And they were, you know, passed down, you know, from grandma to mom to son or daughter or whoever.
Yeah, they inherited.
Yeah. And some of those folks maybe they didn't have mortgages. Some of them did, maybe some of them didn't. But also, that being said, like, they also didn't have the money to rebuild, you know, for the amount of money that's going to require in regards to the permits and the rezoning and all this other stuff. And some of those larger lots have septic tanks on them, which isn't talked about enough. But septic tanks, depending on when it was initially installed, they have to get re-permitted or reinstalled. And that's a whole nother situation for a rebuild process, especially the ones that are on the coastline.
Mm-hmm.
Because now,
yeah,
now you have these coastline homes that have septic tanks, and now they have to get re-permitted in regard to the septics and new environmental studies, and they might not even qualify for septic, a new septic, so then might have to get pumped into the main water reclamation dump off, which can cost up to an additional $100,000 depending on where the main is.
Yeah, but is there any update on a reason why the insurance dropped the insurance on a majority of these homes? I have not heard much information on the insurance companies when they dropped a lot of these homeowners with their fire insurance right before the fire started.
Yeah, from what I read, and this was probably like a month ago or so, but initially some of these companies warned California about, hey, you need to do these controlled burns and all this other stuff, or else we're going to have to raise the insurance premiums because of these constant fires that are happening. And they didn't do these controlled burns, so then that's when they raised some of these premiums. And then in some scenarios, some of those companies just dropped out because of the liability on the insurance company, which is understandable from a business perspective. But it sucks for the homeowner,
Yeah, it does. Their premiums, oh my God. I just think about just that bill. Oh my goodness. And the fact that you got to continue paying, if they have insurance, they got to continue paying, even though they don't even have a home, they don't have a place to go to, and they're still having to pay their policies and pay their mortgage.
And rent on another place.
Yeah. And rent or wherever.
That probably is doing the same thing that Connecticut is doing and a lot of these other places that are doing. They're probably jacking up the rates because of supply and demand,
Yep.
Like, hey, great, you want to rent a place? It's $8,000, for 1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom.
Yeah, and you're lucky. Like that's that price, because if you don't want it, I can sell it. I can get it somebody else for like 10.
Yeah,
and they'll get it, because they need a place.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. What's going on, Chloe?
Yeah, Chloe's there. Chloe's from Texas. She's a Texas girl. But
my buddy was just up in Texas. He sent me a photo. As soon as he got off the plane, he jumped at the barbecue spot and he sent me a plate. I was like, oh gosh.
Oh man, I want to go to Texas for that, for a barbecue. I love barbecue food, so there's a lot of good ones in Texas.
So good.
Yeah, man. It's I want to see on Trump. Let me see if there's anything on him. There should be something. I'm gonna go to the live to see if there's they gotta be no, they got a feed up for DC officials speak on the homelessness that's going on in Washington.
You can jump to it if you want.
Yeah, what a big win for Trump today with the case being dropped, the Letitia James nightmare case, for over like $550 million.
Yeah,
they finally dropped it.
Huge win, man. Another bullcrap glory hole that was not going anywhere.
It's ridiculous, man. I can't wait for her trial to start. I'm gonna cover that. I'm gonna cover it. So help me God, I'm gonna cover it.
Letitia Peekaboo.
She and Fannie Willis has been pretty quiet. but they need to be up on her too, because she played a big role in Georgia with the elections, and I think that's gonna. No, there's protests. There's only video protests. I don't see any videos on Trump. Yeah, I don't see anything on Trump. I see Pat Bondi here.
While you're looking at that, did you hear about the rebrand with Cracker Barrel?
Dude, did you see the stock on it drop like a rock?
Of course. Of
Dude,
course.
Oh my God.
I've only been to Cracker Barrel probably, I think, like twice in my life, because we just recently got them probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago or something. I remember going to Utah. I stopped off, and because they were like, oh my God, it's so good. But to me, it's just not the food that I like personally.
Yeah.
It's super salty to me, and very heavy. Like if I'm gonna eat this, like I'd rather go to like Claim Jumper, or something. I don't know. But
we do have one up here, a Cracker Barrel, and that was devastating. The market on it. I was like, oh my God. That was, they did it to themselves.
They did.
You go woke, you go broke. That term is very true. And look at the stock with what happened to American Eagle with the jeans. They don't understand it. This is a jean. It says jeans. And it's like they check. Oh, they're trying to say that she has good genes and this and that, and take it out of content and explode with it. I was like, wait a minute.
That was the most wild thing to me. Yeah, and the people that were upset were, septic ring, all this other stuff, and purple hair, traditional white liberals super upset about this commercial. And I'm like, they were like, Nazis, she's a Nazi. I'm like, what? But you look at American Eagle stock, they probably sold more jeans because of that ad. And then she went and did like a Dairy Queen ad. She went and did like, all these other ads. It's great. It's great.
And she's doing good. Like
she's doing great. Like since when is it wrong to have somebody that is visually attractive to help sell product?
Rare. It's a rare thing. Like, especially in the Biden years.
Oh, bro.
They had Mulvaney.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been Mulvaney. That would have been Mulvaney. And you saw what that did with Budweiser.
That's crazy.
Same things happening with this Cracker Barrel stuff. We gotta do a shirt, man. Bring Aunt Jemima back.
I know. Yes. Yes. Bring Aunt Jemima back. Man, I miss her. I remember her when I was little. I grew up with her. That cereal bottle was always in front of me. Like, my mom used to make me pancakes. It was the quickest thing to do. So she was like, and Aunt Jemima was the shit, man. And now they took her away, and now they have like this, like a little, like, I don't know. Each I don't even buy it anymore because
I think it's called like Little Cap. No, Little Cabin's the other one. They call it something else.
It's something I forgot the name of it now, but it's like I don't buy it. I don't. Ever since they took out Aunt Jemima, I was like, I feel like that I don't even want to, like, I don't use it. That's wild, man. And the Smithsonian too, what they're doing there, they gotta reevaluate that place and get all that woke stuff out of there.
Yeah,
that's what Trump was trying to like handle and try to get these people to like, yo, we gotta change this shit. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. That's not how what happened.
I think you pointed this out too. A lot of that stuff is demonic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a ritual.
Yep.
It's very satanic. Very they do dark magic. They do dark stuff. They do rituals, but dark, very dark, and sacrifice like animals and even people. Yes, they do. And like Bohemian Grove stuff, that's real. The like they have others that are scattered around the country and they don't even talk about it.
Yep. I got the goosebumps because I was thinking about the Olympics. You know,
Oh Lord.
that opening ceremony in France from the Olympics.
That was crazy with with all the weird people. I like when I saw it, I was really offended. I was offended. I was like, what are they doing here? This is the Last Supper, right? I was like, it kind of threw me off because I saw this fat pig, right? And it's like Miss Piggy was up there, and not to insult Miss Piggy because Miss Piggy is freaking sexy. This hog was on there and she was portraying Jesus and
Yeah.
it was just ridiculous, man. It was the worst thing I ever seen on television, I believe.
I stopped. I didn't watch.
I didn't watch the Olympics.
I didn't watch the Olympics either.
After that, I didn't watch the Olympics.
My allergies are crazy right now. Like,
Oh yeah,
I feel like Hunter Biden. I'm rubbing my nose.
Oh Lord, you guys, it's really hot there, isn't it?
Dude, it is hot today, man. I think it's like 110 today, and it's a little humid. So let me check.
Not
Right
us.
now.
Our high today was like 72.
Oh, look at this. Okay, so we got 105 extreme heat warning.
Oh Lord,
Extreme heat warning
that is hot.
until 11 p.m. It's gonna be it's gonna be 105 till 11.
What? To 11 at night?
Yeah, it doesn't cool down.
Oh, because the cement is so like it's the radiating heat.
It
So it's the
doesn't
heat
cool
that,
down until 2 a.m.
yeah, that's radiating heat. So the ground is so hot that it's kind of like the Moroccans, they usually use sand, like it's heated sand, and they make coffee that way. Well, it's the same way. Like the ground is hot, so it radiates the heat up, so it doesn't really cool off. It stay hot still. Wow, that's wild. It's 61 right now.
Oh
where I'm at.
man, 61
It's
sounds so great.
It's gonna be 50.
Sounds so good.
It's gonna be 53 tonight.
Oh man, that sounds wonderful. But
So
you know,
I'm sorry.
Oh, here in Vegas, when they say, "Oh, it's only 108 today," that's a win because normally this time of year it is 115, 117, 112.
Oof.
It's hot, man.
How can cars and like that's why it's so bare because how can you keep stuff outside? The sun would destroy it.
Dude, the sun, like patio furniture,
Forget about it.
if a couple seasons, the pillows from the patio furniture gone.
Yeah.
Any like patio decks that are wood need to be painted pretty much every season. But we don't have crazy snow, so
How does the grass hold up?
it doesn't. So
Oh shit.
yeah, when I went on my hike on Sunday,
Uh-huh.
the temperature up there is probably about 10, 15 degrees lower, maybe 20. But it's still hot because the sun is very radiant. There's these grassy fields before you head up to the mountains, and those are just bare, just dirt, because the grass doesn't hold up.
Wow. So that's what people do. They put like pebbles and stuff to just like cover it.
Yeah, and I have artificial grass in the backyard, just enough
'cause you have
for the
the
dogs.
baby.
Yeah. But that also gets super hot because it's plastic,
Yeah, that's true. Damn.
So I water
that's-
it like grass, to keep it cool.
Wow. Listen, the sun has been acting up. It's been throwing out a lot of flares towards Earth. So that's why we've been getting a lot of rain on our planet. They don't tell us that. Won't say that in the media. But in reality, it's the flares that are hitting Earth, and it's been very active. And like, there's a lot of places that have been flooding, and like right now, I think Australia is having an issue with flooding. And it's wild because this is happening worldwide. It's just not like one place; it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like China has really bad problem with flooding right now. Like it's just nobody really, people don't really pay attention. That's why I try to, like, show the news and just show what's going on, at least here in our country. But to free think the way I do and stuff, I have to have somebody else with me to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy doing it by myself. It's just, yeah. But thanks for coming through. I truly appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man, for sure, bro.
I was telling the people here, I was like, he's gonna come one day. I wasn't like bragging about it, but I was just like, he'll be here one day. I'll try to get him. He's busy.
We should do it. We should do it more frequently, man. Like, we should get up on a schedule or something. Like,
dude, when you're free. I told you,
Yeah,
when you're free.
I'm down to jump on the schedules and, like, I love watching the replays of your stuff. It's hilarious, man.
Yeah, man, and you could clip it and put it on your show. And listen. As long as I get popularity, I'm a tadpole in an ocean right now, right? Because you're the ocean. We got over 101,000 people. I saw you got that one on there, and I was like, damn, man, I could see you making big numbers. I could see you getting like really high marks if you continue doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. I'm like, people that know me here from my show, they don't come here, but I'm very good psychic and I'm very good at reading people. And that's what I'm gonna do this Saturday. Actually, I'm gonna do a psychic show and I'm gonna bring in
what time?
10 in the morning us, so that means like 7 in the morning your time.
Okay.
So it is an early show, but
That's
I
gonna be
will
cool.
be on. Yeah, I'll be on for a good moment with. I'm trying to bring in Maggie. Maggie's from UK, and she's really good, like, tarot reader. So I'm gonna be like tag teaming with her and doing like readings, like forever that comes through.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah, man, it's fun. It's a good little thing to pass the time and just explore. Because I'm into that paranormal stuff and I'm into psychics and tarot card reading and energy reading because I am a psychic and that's what I do. I feel energy and I just relay what I feel to people. And if I feel someone is successful, especially this one right here, yeah, it's gonna happen. And he just doesn't know it yet.
Love it, man.
He doesn't know it yet, but it's coming his way. He got a lot coming his way.
Love it, man.
Yeah,
Dude,
man.
I just saw this freaking. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you, man. I do. I appreciate everything you do, man.
All right, you're welcome.
I just saw this thing. Kamala Harris's costly campaign, $1.5 billion in 15 weeks. They spent $15,000 on Uber Eats and $9,000 on ice cream.
No.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my. Wait a minute, but we're paying for that. That's messed up, yo.
Yeah. And then obviously 2.5 million to Oprah. And then 10 million on all Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion, blah blah.
And what was the other one? The one with the fake ass? Cardi B.
Megan Thee Stallion. Oh, Cardi B too, yeah.
Cardi B. Yeah, remember? Patience.
Yeah.
You gotta have patience.
Eminem.
Yeah. Patience. I was like, for a second, I thought she was telling the people to be patient, right? So she was like, I need patience over here. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I was like, it was weird because I was watching, like, I was educating myself on both, but I always listen to, when Kamala Harris does her thing just to hear her, like, fuck up and gaggle and do her stupidness. So when Cardi B was there with the patience thing, I was like, wow, like, that's she could, because the teleprompter, I guess, went out, so she didn't know what to say. So that's how much it tells you that she really cared about Kamala Harris, because she had nothing nice to say.
Correct.
It was all paid for. It was all paid
Correct.
for.
Correct.
No emotion to it, because she has nothing. She could have freestyle and just went, talk about Kamala and her, and her stuff. Like, she didn't know what the hell Kamala was doing or what she was running for.
I don't think she knows where she's at, because she did the same thing at WWE too.
Yeah, we were together. I saw it.
Like why did the WWE have her? There's a whole other situation, but just like, stop booking her for public speaking engagements. She's not good.
No. And then she came down like looking very scandalous, like with that black dress and stuff. And then I didn't understand half of the stuff she was saying. So yeah. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in WWE because they sold themselves to the devil. They went and got the Disney deal, and they got the ESPN deal, and now they're going to be broadcasting the PLEs on ESPN app or ESPN, whatever they're going to be showing it at ESPN. I'm very disappointed in that, because I do not want to invest any money on ESPN.
Yeah.
Or Disney. Yeah. I know a lot of history of Disney, the pedophilia that's in Disney, even in their movies and carts. Like, there's this guy on YouTube that I see his shorts. Damn, I forgot his name. He shows like the movies and shows like certain themes and certain scenes that are very perverted and very like disgusting in movies, and you don't catch it unless you slow it down and you see it slow motion, and it's very nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust Disney. I don't like them. I'm not going to support them. I don't care if it's WWE. I'm like, sorry, WWE. You had a fan in me. You'll still have a fan in me, but I'm not supporting Disney.
So are they going to be doing the same thing? Because I'm not too familiar with it. Because the UFC just signed a $7.7 billion deal with, I think, Peacock or Paramount, where the pay-per-views or the PLEs are going to be free. Is that the same situation with the WWE?
Well, they're leaving Peacock and they're going to ESPN.
Got it.
So they're still going to end up doing business because they got UFC with Peacock, but the WWE is going to move on and go over to Disney, ESPN. I think that's a huge mistake. I don't know, man. It's just when you get greedy, it's a lot, because I was checking out the prices. It's like $30 a month just for ESPN services to see the wrestling.
Wow.
And I'm not going to get a VPN for, I could get a VPN and see it from from UK and get the Europe Netflix, and then I could probably watch it because they're going to still have it on Netflix overseas in Europe. So I was thinking, well, maybe I could get a VPN, and then because you were offering a VPN one time, I believe.
Yeah.
You were,
yeah,
I think
it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's a they were saying maybe if I could do that, and then I could see the Netflix, but from Europe to here, and then I could catch the PLEs.
Yeah. Smart. Because that doesn't take an effect until 2026, right?
No, the next pay-per-view, the last one is going to be the Clash of the Castle in Paris.
Oh,
and that's going to be the last PLE for Peacock.
Wow.
And it's going to go to ESPN and also Netflix, but for overseas. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna work, man. I mean, the only way they'll get a reality check is when people don't watch and they have low numbers of viewership. That would suck for them because they got a little greedy. You know, when you get too greedy, you know, it's not good. But no, I wish them luck. But I might get the VPN thing and just get the VPN and then just switch over to Europe and then watch it from Netflix from there. Because there's a lot of events that I want to watch, like Survivor Series, and I want to see. Well, I think the last John Cena is going to be on Peacock. I think it's going to be on the Saturday Night Live. No, Saturday Night Live. Listen to me. The Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know who he's going to fight his last match, but you know, that's crazy, right? Ain't Brock Lesnar in the lawsuit and now they're going to Disney? That's disgusting. What's going on here?
Good point.
Because
good point.
Right?
Good point.
They're going Disney ESPN, and then Brock Lesnar has this like sexual lawsuit with McMahon.
Yep.
And I'm
surprised they brought him back.
Me too. Especially if he's still in that lawsuit. I mean, they will still paying him, even off camera. He still get paid a salary.
Oh wow!
Because he's under contract. So even if he's not on camera, he gets paid.
Wow!
What a hell of a deal, right? I mean, he looked out for himself. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And he don't spend money because I seen his shows on YouTube and his butcher shows because he has like a butcher shop and he sells meat and stuff like that. He's rich. The guy has plenty of money. He's never going broke. The guy has successful businesses and everything, and he doesn't really spend money at all. He's very like, I don't know. He's frugal, how you call him, when they don't spend money. He's a good dude. He's okay, but he has the sexual lawsuit. Who knows if it's true or not or what? I can't say because I need to see evidence. I need if they have camera, they have pictures, if they have like testimonies. Like I need to hear how she speaks because I read the body language too, so I can tell if she's truthful or not. There's nothing said or anything. I think WWE made the decision to let Brock Lesnar come back, and then attack John Cena, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
like I know he beat up John Cena a long time ago and stuff. It was a horrible match. It was like a disaster, but it's like they're trying to pull a statement, and I think the statement of the story is like a bully. You can bully someone so much until their breaking point, and then you attack the bully. I think that's what John Cena and Brock Lesnar matches are about.
Yeah. I was just checking the feed here. I don't see anything yet.
I don't see nothing on Trump. I saw Pat Bondi. I saw the protests. Like here, I can show you real quick.
Yeah.
There's like a little protest going on in Washington. This right here. That's the protest in Washington.
Oh, it looks massive.
Do they look like real protesters?
No, these guys are all paid, man.
I mean, I don't know. They don't look. Look at this one, with the upside down flag. Almost getting hit by the car. Even the dog is barking. Look at that.
I know.
The dog is calling bullshit. These motherfuckers are fake. They're paid.
She was.
I know, dog. Listen, I can read animals. I'm like a pet detective with the animals. You know how I used to talk to the pets?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely me. With birds too, because my friend has a bird upstairs, and I went, and I started talking to the bird, and the bird started talking back to me. And she would start talking. I'm like, yeah, but he's saying this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cute cockatiel. Nice little birds. But that's the protest.
It looks massive. There's so many people there. Oh my gosh.
They're only showing the corner. They're not showing nothing else but the corner.
Well, that's
So the protest is in the
people are
corner.
there. 10 people are waiting for the crosswalk and like 5 people are protesting.
Yeah, right. Listen to the energy. Very low energy.
Yeah.
They're not really passionate about it. If they're really passionate about it, they'll be like screaming to the top of their lungs and like they're like, yeah, we're just here to get the money.
Wild.
That's it. That's your protest. That's the protest that they're showing. Let me see here. This is Pat Bondi. He's talking about the Putin stuff. I think, listen, if they don't come to a peace deal quick, something big's gonna happen.
Yep.
I just feel the energy. You know, there's ships out in Venezuela, right?
Yeah.
I gotta bring that case. You know what? Let me bring it up because I was gonna show it on the show. I might as well do it now because I'm talking about
bring it
it.
up.
So I'm gonna bring it up. There's a couple of stuff I gotta go through here because I go through the shows and I got your show to watch and I'm waiting for your upload. So that's another thing to watch. Here we go. That's it.
Now, there are 3 guided missile destroyers deploying off the coast of Venezuela. It's all part of President Trump's plan to help combat drug cartels in Latin America. For more now, we are joined by national security correspondent Liz Landers, who's been tracking all of this. And Liz, what is the U.S. plan in Venezuela?
Yeah, Andrew. Well, while the world has been focused on these peace talks that President Trump is attempting to broker between Russia and Ukraine, the U.S. has slowly been building up a large military presence in the Caribbean near Venezuela. A source familiar told Scripps News that the move is part of President Donald Trump's effort to combat those threats from Latin American drug cartels. The source confirming to Scripps News that 3 U.S. guided missile destroyers, the USS Gravely, USS Jason Dunham, and the USS Samson, are being deployed in these efforts, with some news outlets also reporting that the ships should arrive there imminently off the coast of Venezuela. So this will bring the military posture to about 4,000 sailors and Marines. And the broader region will also have several P-8 spy planes, warships, and at least 1 attack submarine, that according to Reuters. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was asked about the U.S. military going after drug traffickers late last week. Listen to what he said.
There are designated narco-terrorist groups operating in the region, some of them utilizing international airspace, international waters to transit poison into the United States. And those groups will be confronted. The president's made that clear from the time he operated.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro announcing on Monday that his country will mobilize more than 4 million militia members, saying that the militias will be, quote, prepared, activated, and armed throughout Venezuela. So he said in this televised address on Monday that we will, quote, defend our seas, our skies, and our lands. We liberated them. We guard and patrol them. No empire will touch the sacred soil of Venezuela, nor should it touch the sacred soil of South America, Andrew. So really some military tension building up in the region there.
All right, national security correspondent Liz Landers for us. Liz, we will check back with you as this story develops.
Yeah, so that's basically what's going on over there in Venezuela. I mean, Trump isn't playing. Trump knows what's over there. It's a lot of oil.
Yep.
in Venezuela. There's a lot of oil in their neighbors. What's the name of the country? Give me one sec. I'll get it. I know they were like they were approaching and intruding Guyana. They were intruding into their territory because right off their coast, Guyana, there's oil deposit, like rich oil that they discovered down there, and it's untapped. And Venezuela wants to get it, and the U.S. is like, because they can make a deal with Guyana instead of making deal with Venezuela.
Yep.
So that's why they're intruding, and then they're going to go after the drugs, yeah, but they're also there for another reason, and it's that oil dispute. Yeah, I mean, I could see them going in there and doing an operation and taking out the real problems. I mean, they've been distributing a lot of drugs throughout the world.
Yeah, and those tankers, those tankers have some really strong missile capabilities on them.
Even the submarine.
Yep.
The submarine is a nuclear one.
Yeah.
I mean, Venezuela don't have the power, like military wise, to even try to, with the ships out in sea, anything that comes to them gets blown away. What weaponry does Venezuela has? You know,
nothing.
They have really what their military is going to do. They have militias. They do have militias, but
yeah, and pirates.
Yeah, and that's about it. But if you have you can take that out easy. Are they going to try to go after Maduro's and claim the 50 million bounty? That's a pretty big bounty. I mean, 50 million. I mean, it's okay if he had like 100 million or like a big amount for him. I'm pretty sure people would turn on him.
Yeah, I still think 50 million is a big bounty, but you're right. I don't think for 50 million people would turn on him.
Mm-hmm.
100, 150 for sure.
Yeah, it's like more incentive. Like, get this motherfucker.
Yeah, he's right here.
We'll split it. We'll split it.
Sign him up on CB Home.
Yeah.
CB1 Home app.
To be honest with you, I think they're more there. The U.S. I think oil. Something keeps telling me oil. It has a big role with oil. Yeah, they want to say the cover story will be the drugs, of course. That'll be very important. But the underlining, I think, is the oil, the train of truth. It comes out when I say truthful things.
Yep. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, let's after. I know it's late over there, but tomorrow or maybe even later, let's see if we can set this up like consistently. I'd love to do that with you.
Yeah, man. Just hit me up. Hit me on Discord.
Cool. I'll ping you later. But I'm gonna play with this dog for a little bit and feed her, and then yeah, I'll catch you in a little bit.
Yeah, just be careful with her, man. I don't want her to get like heat stroke or any dehydration because of the fucking heat. That's crazy. 105.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, because I'm out here in Connecticut, the highest it got was like 95, 90, maybe 95. And that was a really hot day. But you over there, like, that's every day.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't so in the morning we'll play. I'll just go outside with her for a little bit, just kind of sit down. She's right here, but I'm gonna feed her and yeah, we don't. It's crazy, man, because I'll see people walking their dog right now, and I'm like, dude, imagine their paws are on this asphalt,
Yeah, they have to have shoes or something.
Yeah. I'll peek over and I'm like, oh, isn't it warm?
Mm-mm.
I'm like, dude, what are you doing
Like
to the
your
dog?
mornings.
After about 87, the dog can get heat stroke,
Yeah, I mean,
especially a big dog like this.
how's the mornings? How's the temperature in the mornings?
This morning was hot, but yesterday was nice. It was like 80.
Oh, but if 80, that's crazy. I'm like, that's high.
It's hot, but
Oh,
it's doable, you know, because the sun's not peak performance yet.
yeah.
It's not fully up, especially
Okay.
like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. It's okay, but right now it's hot, bro.
Yeah, because you guys get a dry heat.
Dude, it's like cooking a DiGiorno at 450, a DiGiorno pizza, and then you open up the oven and you stick your head in there. That's basically what that is.
No, easy bake oven.
Yeah.
No, remember those back in the days?
Easy bakes for the.
It's like, yeah. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
coming by. I truly
Yeah, for
appreciate
sure,
it,
man.
man. Do it
For sure.
again. Hit me up.
I'll ping you on Discord here in a minute.
All right.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
All right. Thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate you.
All right. Yeah, appreciate you too. Later.
All right. Later. And that was Tyson Delacruz. Told you he was going to come one day. I don't have the exposure yet. I'm very low. I only have, 513 subscribers. It took me a while to get those subscribers. I love those subscribers. I got 512. So 512 subscribers. I'm working my way up. This gentleman that was here with me has over 101,000. I'm like, holy smokes. That's nice. I could see him getting more than that. He doesn't know. Well, he knows now because I'm saying it, but he really doesn't know. I see so big potential. Like, he has no idea. But he can feel my reactions and he's listening. I'll just check something on my phone, see if Tyson has come out. No, I was just checking on the video to see if the video has been uploaded. I have his video to put up. I always leave that for the end of the show. I do have some stuff I want to go through. If you want to become an ICE agent, right? You got to go through some training. I wanted to check out the training for ICE. So let's go ahead and check out the training for ICE.
So as ICE is ramping up its recruitment all across the country, the agency is giving Fox News an up-close look at its rigorous training program. And our very own Alexis McAdams got to take part in it. She's joining us live from Brunswick, Georgia. Alexis, I've seen your clips. I'm jealous. How was it?
And Bill, I was going to say, if it's up anyone's alley, this is right up your alley. But since you're on the anchor desk, I'm out here in Brunswick, Georgia. And the question for people at home as ICE ramps up their recruitment efforts and tries to get as many people as possible, right, is where do the recruits go? Well, that would be here to this training facility. So this is just one of the obstacle courses that Fox was able to check out. And it's not just physical as well as mental training. You can see here on the course, but it's also out there in the gun range. And we hit that gun range and the shooting range with acting ICE director Todd Lyons. Watch.
Wow. Holy shit.
All right, so Todd Lyons tells me ICE is really working hard to recruit those new agents with more than 100,000 applicants.
That
really
looks like
hitting
fun.
the streets here and trying to get prepared. They've got 100,000 applications and
Wow, that's
counting
quick.
since the beginning of the Trump administration.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And also, ICE says right now about 4 in 10 applicants have military or law enforcement experience. They're seeing more people sign up after offering $50,000 bonuses, and they even dropped the minimum age requirement, but they're not taking anybody. That's their message. Despite some pushback from local governments and advocacy groups that we've seen across the country, ICE says we're just trying to keep our country safe.
If they're worried about signing up because of the pushback, and people are going to think something different of them, think that they're doing something wrong, what would you tell them?
It's an honorable position. It's a great position. I think the tide's turning. The American public is really seeing what we do for the community.
So the recruits have to complete mini tests, as I mentioned. We came out, Bill, to kind of film this and see some of the recruits in action. They said, hey, you and your Converse can go hit the obstacle course yourself. So we tried to do that. You can see it here, what we hit as well. You can check it out on your screen. Watch. We're going to do the obstacle course to see what it takes to be an ICE agent. So let's see if we can do it.
Ready, set, go.
Come on, girl. You can tell she's not used to doing this. Wow. It's an obstacle course.
All right, so there's a little taste. We'll show you some more throughout the day, but it's not easy. As we said, there's so much kind of negative comments that come from different sanctuary cities and people across the country. Not everybody's happy about ICE is doing, but Director Lyons, Bill, told me that he's proud of what he's done. He's been here for almost 20 years with ICE, and he thinks those new recruits are going to do a great job. So we'll keep an eye on it, Bill.
And Alexis, I got a few texts from ICE contacts yesterday telling me you killed it out there on that obstacle course and all the training. So don't get too good. We don't want you to take them from us or them to take you from us.
I know, that's true. I will.
Good to see you, Alexis, live in Georgia.
That's what I told Kate, too. I said,
Yeah.
Kate,
Hey everyone,
That
I'm Emily
is-
Campagno.
You know,
Catch me
hey,
and my
it's
co-host
some
Harris
training you
Faulkner
gotta
and
do to
Kaylee
be an ICE
McNenny on
agent,
Outnumbered
and
every week.
you definitely gotta put your back into it. Yeah, it's not easy. Becoming an agent, I wish I would have been an agent. I mean, if I was able-bodied and I was able to do it, shit, hell yeah, I would have gone out there and I would have gotten these people and thrown their asses in jail or send them to the detention center to be extradited and deported out. Yeah. It's just common sense, right? It just makes more sense. It's too many people here, you know? I mean, it's nothing bad, you know? It is what it is, but it's just too many people. And when you have too many people, they eat too much, they use up our resources. It's just a lot going on. And our system is set up for us Americans and those who are beneficial of being here in America. But then you have outsiders coming in and eating up your sources, eating up your resources, eating, like, the rents are going way too high. I mean, because there's not enough space. So there's no space. They jack up the rents. So if we get all these illegals out and we run them out of here, guess what? There'll be more availability. If there's more availability, the rents will go down because they're gonna have to get you in to get paid, and they rather take that $700, $800 than having to wait so long to get $1,200. It's like, fuck it, at least I'm getting something. $800, okay. You know, and that's how the system, you know, will get back. So like, it'll fix itself up, but we have to get these people out. And I'm sorry, your vacation is up, and on my dime, you got to go. I'm sorry, you got to go. And today was a great day for Trump. Today was a great day for Trump. And I'm glad his lawsuit got thrown out. I'm glad it got thrown out, and he deserves, like, the case was bullshit, you know? And what was the other girl too, the Carol girl? That one needs to be thrown out too, because that was bullshit. That case was bullshit. And the Letitia James one, you saw Letitia James in the courtroom every day. She was like, she had to make herself present. She had to stick out her chest and make sure the camera's looking at her and smile at the camera. I don't know. She reminds me of Grimace. And Grimace, you know, was just a purple, you know, the purple mascot for McDonald's, Grimace. That's what Letitia James reminds me of. So, you know, I can't wait for her case to come up because she's really going to be kicked out of New York and she's really going to go down. She's a fraudster. She is horrible, and so is Adam Schiff. There's so many of them in our government that little by little they're being exposed. You know, I'm looking at you, Nancy. Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, well, you have enough money to hire a really good attorney, so I hope you invested well, because last time I checked, you can't take it with you to the other side. I'm sorry, that stays here. Your ass dies, that money stays here. That money should be given back to the people, especially the ones that you ripped off. She's a very crooked person. Very, very horrible energy. And the fact that she's still in Washington, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. I just... All right. So we're going to wrap up the show. The last show right now, we're going to show... Well, unless an update, it should be coming soon. So I'm going to hold off for the Tyson one because I'm waiting for because it usually comes out 10:15. So, and I definitely want to watch it tonight because I'll make it a back-to-back for Tyson Delacruz. So let's go ahead and let's see a back-to-back of Fox News. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And then that'll give me time for Tyson to bring in the new episode for tonight. I got one episode here, but there's another one that's going to be uploaded in a little bit for us to watch. Okay, here we go.
So happening now, the HHS has just ended federal funding for California's sex education program. Just minutes ago, Andrew Grattison, Assistant Secretary of the Administration for Children and Families, announced the suspension of the money in a letter to state officials that reads in part, quote, California has failed to modify its state prep content to remove all references to gender ideology consistent with the additional conditions imposed by ACF. Andrew Grattison, the man who sent that letter, is kind enough to join us right now. Andrew, good morning to you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So
last November...
Real quick, so
go ahead.
You initially warned California back in June. You gave them 60 days and said, fix your curriculum or we're going to pull your funding. They didn't fix it. So how much money are we talking, and what was it in their curriculum that HHS wasn't okay with?
Well, the American people elected President Trump to restore sanity and common sense in this country. Part of that is removing gender ideology from state sex ed curriculum. So what I looked at when we requested to review these materials was whether the sex ed curriculum that HHS funds with federal taxpayer dollars was medically accurate and age appropriate. What we found was neither. The California curriculum was teaching students as young as 10 years old that boys could be girls and girls could be boys, and that the solution oftentimes was mutilating their genitals and transitioning. So that material is out of bounds when it comes to sex ed curriculum. It's completely unacceptable. And as a result, California will forfeit north of $12 million.
$12 million. Okay, and President Trump appeared to kind of react to this morning. He posted on Truth Social in part, quote, any California school district that doesn't adhere to our transgender policies will not be funding. Well, that has now come to pass. You just mentioned $12 million they are now forfeiting. I'm curious, when you initially sent those letters to California, did they ever respond to you in any way? Did they say, hey, can we have a little more time to work on this? Or was it just radio silence?
California waited until the last day to respond to us, and they told us that they believe their curriculum was medically accurate and age appropriate, and they said that federal taxpayers will continue to pay for this. Well, FAFO. Under the Trump administration, if you continue to push radical ideology on our children, we will not pay for it anymore.
Take a look at this Pew poll. Looking at teachers across the country when it comes to teaching gender identity in schools, kind of on where that falls. If you look at all teachers, about 50% of them say it should be taught. Elementary school, should not be taught in school. So you got half teachers saying it shouldn't, most elementary school teachers, and then the older you get, the more teachers seem to think it's okay to teach it. Bigger question here, you're pulling the funding from California. Are there other states you're looking at now across the country who are also risk at losing funding?
Well, 2 points. One, it's interesting to know what teachers think should be taught in the classroom. I'm more interested in what parents want their children to be taught. And parents overwhelmingly want to know what's being taught in the classroom. They have a right to know what's being taught to their kids in public schools.
Makes
We're
sense.
making sure that they get visibility and we're not pushing ideological materials on them.
That makes sense.
Broadly, I think every state will be put on notice. We've almost completed reviewing every state's curriculum. And as early as next week, we're going to put an additional almost 40 states on notice that they need to correct their prep curriculum or face the same consequences that California suffered.
You got about 15 seconds left. Your final message to the state of California, if you have one.
Stop indoctrinating the next generation. They deserve better. They need to learn how to read and write, not not this anti-science agenda.
All right, Andrew Grattison there with the breaking news, $12 million in federal funding being pulled from the state of California. Andrew, thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Steve Doocy.
Wow.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley
Hey,
Earhart. And
that's
click
the
here
only
to
way they
subscribe
learn.
to the
Take the money away. You take the money away, little by little, it's just gonna put them in the position that they're gonna have to change, man. It only makes sense, man. Leave the fucking children alone, man. Why they keep trying to brainwash them with this bullshit? It just makes me mad, man. It just makes me mad. California is just, it's horrible. It's horrible. I lived there for a year, and it's just crazy. All right, let's check out this next story here.
Right. Meanwhile, today, an illegal migrant immigrant, you've seen him on television a lot, will be in court. Meanwhile, he is going to be charged with the death of 3 innocent Americans, and people are looking into his background. Who gave him his license, commercial license? How did he get it in 2 states? Who actually, who allowed him into the country in 2018? Where did he stay?
Yeah, so Ron DeSantis sent the new Lieutenant Governor, Jay Collins, to California to go and apprehend him. So we're not sure when exactly he's going to be in court, but he's going to be brought back to the state of Florida. And Ron DeSantis says that fleeing to a sanctuary state will not prevent him from facing justice in Florida. And we will make sure of that. He will be held accountable for his criminal actions.
You know, I'm so shocked with the Democratic Party. Every time they are essentially allowing the illegals to be able to do this type of criminal behavior, there's no shame at all. Meanwhile, DeSantis puts it well. Why is Gavin Newsom on social media going after Donald Trump, having his aides do all these tweets back and forth and not spending time on the issues that matter? Watch.
Got a very poor record, and we showed that when we did the debate. But, you know, he's spending all this time being cheeky on social media, and yet people can't get permits to rebuild their homes in Southern California. We had an issue where you had an illegal alien truck driver that got a commercial driver's license in the state of California, employed by a California company, kill 3 people in Florida. This guy didn't even speak English. We're bringing him up on charges. He's going to face a lot. And I can announce, Jesse, that I said initially the company needs to be held accountable. And we've been working with the federal government, and they are pulling that company's license to do business because you cannot employ somebody who cannot read the road signs. Why is he spending all this time, you know, trying to be fresh with President Trump? Why doesn't he do his job and protect the people? And as much as we somehow poke fun at California, oftentimes because of all the problems that the liberal policies have allowed, that is spilling over into the rest of the country. And Florida is a tragic example with 3 of our fellow citizens who are dead because of his sanctuary policies.
Yeah.
Yep. These blue states that allow an illegal immigrant to get a commercial driver's license, he can drive all over the country. He can drive into the southern states that are red states where they have different policies. But because of these liberal states that allow this to happen. 3 people are dead in the state of Florida.
That's why we can't, Brian, just ignore them. It's just say, oh, liberal city, liberal
It
state.
affects us
It
all.
affects us all.
Well, I mean, they're all going to the sanctuary cities and then they get out. So they go live in sanctuary cities and they look to settle elsewhere.
And then after he commits the crime, he goes back to the sanctuary city hoping for protection.
See, I like what Governor DeSantis said about the company, who hired him.
Yep.
But I also want to know who gave him the license.
That's right.
And I know that they
Who
don't
gave
get paid
the
$1
test?
zillion, but people need to be accountable. It's not, if you're at motor vehicle and you're driving, I want to know, we know who was actually in the passenger seat when he passed his test.
That's right.
So they asked him 12 questions to see if he could speak English. He only answered 2 of them correctly because he can't. Now, some of the signs are universal. I get that.
Like
but you need
stop.
to know everything. Yeah. But you need to know everything. The other thing that's pretty important, and by the way, on a side note, the president went after Gavin Newsom on Truth Social about that because he's got 28% approval rating in California. He's let that city burn down. Nothing's been rebuilt. He fights back for sanctuary cities. His energy policy is disastrous. But when you look at the polls, I know it's early for 2028. He's still number 1.
Yep.
28% of the vote. 23 for Kamala, who's the worst politician in my lifetime. The worst. And then you got Pete Buttigieg.
Maybe this is why people are leaving the Democratic Party, because of these blue state rules and what they believe in.
This is stunning.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian
Yeah,
Kilmeade.
that
And
is
I mean,
stunning.
your heart.
That's
And click
crazy.
here to subscribe
Not
to the Fox
stunning,
News
it's fucking
YouTube page.
I don't know. I'm telling you, we're living in dangerous times. It's so dangerous. It's so wild. It's scary too. Like for me, it is scary. Is it gonna get better? Not right now. It's gonna take a long while. It's just there's too many people in this country, like millions upon millions and millions and millions and millions and millions, over close to 30 million illegals here, and this just overwhelms the system. Not only that, our food, not only our rent, people don't think, how about our septic system? How about our water plants? How about like when the people use the restroom and stuff, that has to go to a process plant. So they got to process an extra 30 million people's shit and piss and all that stuff. And that puts more strain into the system. That overwhelms the system. But nobody thinks about that. They're out there. Protect the immigrants. Don't. They're kidnapping them. Okay, like I said, I waited for Tyson Delacruz to open up and actually upload his video, which he did. So thank you, Tyson, and thank you again for coming through on the show today. Truly appreciate it. You think my numbers right now are pretty quiet right now, right? The one person that's watching, you're going to see this channel explode. And then you're going to be like, shit, man, I should have been there when it was quiet. Because there's going to be a lot of people. So I'm letting you know. Get it in early. Especially Saturday for the readings. That's going to be really cool. The psychic readings on Saturday, 10 o'clock. Yeah. It's on. It's on. So let's go ahead and set up for Tyson Delacruz.
Despite over $1 billion spent on shelter, outreach, and housing for people who are homeless in the last 5 years, the rate of homelessness in Portland continues to rise.
America, Portland just spent $724 million on homelessness in 1 year. That's over $42,000 per homeless person. And the problem got exponentially worse, not better. We're talking about 522 different organizations feeding off this crisis, while homelessness increases by 25%, and the city became a national embarrassment. But here's the sick part. When viewers demanded to know the per person spending breakdown, researchers refused to do the math because they didn't want to hold the counties accountable with the data that they weren't comfortable with. Because this isn't about solving homelessness. This is about a $724 million industry that profits off of managing the crisis instead of ending it.
It's interesting. You know, you've got about maybe 12,000 homeless individuals in the Tri-County area. $724 million spent last year alone. That money coming from local, state, federal resources. But the question is whether that money is going to be there down the road and how much accountability is there.
What is up, guys? Tyson Delacruz here. Thank you so
Zero.
much for rocking with me. This story exposes the biggest scam in American cities, the homeless industrial complex that gets rich by keeping people on the streets instead of getting them housed. Finally, we have the numbers that prove what we've been saying all along. Let me break down these absolutely mind-blowing numbers that prove the homeless industrial complex is the biggest government scam in America.
Well, there is big money being spent to help solve homelessness here in the metro area. In fact, today a new report shows that number is about $750 million. That's just for last year.
$750 million spent in 1 year on homelessness in the Portland metro area. That's $724 million flowing into 522 different groups across 3 counties. But instead of solving the problem, homelessness actually got worse, much worse.
Multnomah County's new homeless services dashboard shows that there are more unhoused people than we thought.
That's so sad.
15,000 people were unhoused in February. That is a 3,000 person increase from what the county had estimated for a year earlier.
A 25% jump. Despite spending
That's sad.
nearly $750 million, county officials claim this increase is just improved data collection. But that's bureaucratic spin for we've been lying to you about how bad this problem actually is.
With that kind of investment, you would think that things got much better during that time and the months that followed. Well, think again.
It actually gotten worse, much, much worse. This is an admission what everybody can see. Massive spending with negative results. The homeless industrial complex is failing by design. Now, here's where the story gets infuriating. When taxpayers demanded accountability for the per person spending, the researcher literally refused to do basic math.
So there are roughly 17,000 homeless people in the metro region. If we take the $724 million and divide it by 17,000, we get over $42,000 per person, which, yes, is a lot of money.
Over $42,000 per homeless person per year. That's more than some Americans make working full-time jobs. You could literally give every homeless person a $42,000 salary and it would cost the same as the failed system. The researcher admits that they deliberately avoided calculations per person cost because they didn't want to make the numbers look as bad as they actually are. This is academic fraud designed to protect the homeless industrial complex.
What we wanted to avoid was taking a big number, dividing it, and then comparing the counties when we didn't have anything close to apple data side by side for the counties. We didn't want to hold them accountable with data that we didn't feel really comfortable with.
We didn't want to hold them
This
accountable with
sounds
the data
so,
that
like,
we didn't
unconvincing.
really feel comfortable with. This translates to we didn't want taxpayers to realize they're spending $42,000 per homeless person with zero results. This is deliberate obstruction to protect the failed system. Now let's talk about where the $724 million actually went, because it reveals the true nature of the homeless industrial complex.
That money going to a total of 522 different groups across the Tri-County area, Multnomah, Washington, and Clackamas counties.
522 different groups got a piece of the $724 million pie. That's 522 organizations with staff, overhead, administration costs, and executive salaries, all dependent on homelessness continuing to exist for their paycheck.
That's more nonprofits getting money for homelessness than when this study started 3 years ago.
So while homelessness got worse, more organizations got created to address the problem. This is the homeless industrial complex expanding while failing.
Once again, my blood was boiling as I learned what we already knew, that hundreds of millions were being wasted on a problem that has exponentially worsened the more money is thrown at it. At this point, I think it is by design, because the homeless problem is a huge money grab and all the vultures have come out to feast.
I hope you caught that. I think it's by design because the homeless problem is a huge money grab and all the vultures come out to feast. When you create a $724 million industry around managing homelessness, you create financial incentives to keep the problem going. Now let's look at how this money was actually spent, because the categories reveal everything wrong with the homeless industrial complex.
You can see here More than $250 million went to safety on and off the streets. About $219 million spent on supportive housing, $141 million for housing placement, $64 million on system access, assessment, and navigation, and $46 million on admin costs.
$46 million in administrative costs alone. That's $46 million for bureaucrats to manage the other $678 million. But here's the kicker. These categories are so vague that nobody knows what they actually mean.
All those categories of uses found their root stock in Multnomah County's way of characterizing spending. Metro then sort of adopted most of the nouns and verbs of that accounting, the safety off and on the streets and the housing placement, et cetera.
What does safety on and off the streets actually mean? What is system access, assessment, and navigation? According to researchers, it depends on who you ask. These are deliberately vague categories designed to hide where the money's actually being spent.
We did encounter some different interpretations between counties on what they were considering, which broad categories they were putting different kinds of spending in, and that stuff just needs to be better aligned.
Different counties have different interpretations of what spending categories mean. This is bureaucratic chaos designed to prevent accountability. Bottom line, when nobody knows what the categories mean, nobody can be held responsible for the results. And here's the most infuriating part. When confronted with the complete failure, the homeless industrial complex claims they're having invisible success.
Another researcher referred to things like eviction prevention and permanent housing as, quote, invisible success.
Invisible success. That's what they call spending $724 million while homelessness increases by 25%. When your success is invisible, does that mean it doesn't exist? This is gaslighting taxpayers who can see the problem is getting worse with their own eyes. Even Stevie Wonder can see what's going on here.
I spent my career building first market
Tyson's
rate
a trip.
and then affordable housing with supportive services in the Portland metro area. And the lack of effective management of funds encountered in the process was unfortunately significant. And just about all aspects of the problems attempting to be addressed, from administrative services to construction oversight and service management.
Somebody who worked in the system admits there is a lack of effective management of funds that was significant in just about all aspects. This insider is confirming that the homeless industrial complex is fundamentally corrupt and wasteful.
We really haven't gotten to the point where we can start to look at all these different approaches that we're taking, look at the spending that's associated with this, and really figure out what's the most productive use of those resources.
After spending $724 million, they admit we really haven't gotten to the point where we can figure out what's the most productive use of the resources. This is deliberate incompetence designed to justify continued funding without accountability. America, this Portland story exposes the biggest scam in American government, the homeless industrial complex that profits from managing the crisis instead of actually solving it. $724 million spent in 1 year. Homelessness increased by 25%, and 522 organizations got rich while people suffered on the streets. When taxpayers demanded per-person spending calculations, researchers refused because they didn't want to hold the counties accountable with the uncomfortable data.
So we are all still sort of stumbling around in a poorly lit room.
This isn't incompetence. This is a system designed to fail. When you create $750 million industry around homelessness, you create financial incentives to keep people homeless. Every person who gets housed permanently is a threat to someone's salary in the homeless industrial complex. The invisible success excuse is gaslighting at its worst. Success isn't invisible, it's measurable. If you're spending $42,000 per year per homeless person and the problem is getting worse worse, you're not having invisible success. You're having a visible failure. Portland proves that throwing
That's
money
true.
at homelessness without accountability creates more homelessness, not less. The vultures have come out to feast on human misery while pretending to care about the solution. This is why Americans are fed up with government waste and bureaucratic failures. We want results, not excuses. We want accountability, not invisible success. And we want leaders who solve problems instead of managing them for profit. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, Tyson. Oh, good one. But we're going back to back. So I am going to be showing the last Tyson Delacruz for the night, and then I'm calling it a night and gonna get to bed. But thank you, Tyson, for coming through. I actually checked his numbers out. He actually did get to 102,000. So he's not at 101. He's at 102,000 subscribers, man. I'm telling you, he's going up like wildfire, and he's gonna explode. He's doing really good. So with that said, let's watch the last of Tyson Delacruz, and then we'll call it a night. All right, let's go.
13 people are now facing charges in what the FBI is calling a sophisticated fraud ring that used the grandparent scam to steal more than $5 million.
America, we just uncovered one of the most disgusting criminal operations you've ever heard of. A sophisticated Dominican Republic call center was running daily scoreboard tracking how much money they stole from American grandparents, celebrating when they hit $189,000 in a single theft. These foreign criminals targeted 400 plus elderly Americans with an average age of 84 years old, stealing over $5 million by pretending to be their grandchildren in jail. But here's what's really sick. They kept corporate-style performance metrics, measuring how much each scammer destroyed the person's life every single day.
The FBI says at least 400 elderly folks across the U.S. were targeted by scammers who racked up more than $5 million in stolen money.
What is up, guys? Tyson Delacruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Finally, we're seeing predators get caught and face real consequences. Scammers like this have been doing this for a very long time, and targeting old people is like targeting the most vulnerable class of American citizens, and they deserve our protection, not exploitation. Let me break down this absolutely disgusting criminal operation that was specifically designed to destroy American families. This wasn't some random phone call scamming. This was a sophisticated international business built on stealing from grandparents.
Targeting grandparents across the country, swindling them out of millions of dollars, all by pretending to be their grandkids over the phone.
The ringleader, 33 years old, Oscar Manuel Castellanos Garcia, shout out to my 3 last name individuals, was running this operation like a Fortune 500 company. They had call centers in the Dominican Republic with daily performance metrics, tracking exactly how much money each criminal stole from elderly Americans every single day. Think about that. They turned destroying grandparents' lives into a competitive sport with scoreboards.
One suspect smiles while holding a pile of cash. The ringleader seen here relaxing in a pool on a boat.
These weren't just random calls either. They specifically recruited English speakers with no accents so you could fool any American victim. They had a 3-stage closing system just like any call center would. Openers who impersonate their grandchildren, closers who would pretend to be attorneys, and runners who would collect the cash in person across multiple states.
The FBI says call center employees allegedly kept track of the amount of money obtained through the scam each day. FBI Special Agent in Charge Ted Dox says the damage done here was significant.
The level of organization makes this so infuriating. They had scripts, they had training programs, they had money laundering networks, and international coordination. These scams have been targeting vulnerable elderly Americans for years, and we're finally seeing serious federal prosecution that matches the sophistication of these criminal enterprises. Now let me talk about the sick psychological warfare these criminals used against our elderly citizens. They didn't just ask for money, they weaponized grandparents' love for their family.
Prosecutors say the scam was run out of this call center in the Dominican Republic. They say callers would read from these scripts, pretending to be a grandchild who was arrested or in an accident.
Their favorite script was claiming the grandchild got arrested for drunk driving after leaving a funeral. Crash crashed into a car, then ran a red light and needed bail money immediately. They specifically chose emotional scenarios that would make grandparents feel panic and act without thinking.
Court records show an elderly man in Conroe lost more than $12,000 after a caller pretending to be his grandson said they got in a car accident. Another elderly man from Conroe lost a similar amount of money.
This wasn't your typical, hello, this is your Venmo. Somebody is trying to access your Venmo account. But here's the most evil part. They told the victims to keep quiet to avoid embarrassment so they wouldn't check with other family members. They isolated these elderly Americans from their support systems and promised to pay back the money after getting out of jail to make victims feel secure about sending their life savings.
Using lines like, please, I need help with my bail. I promise that I will make it up to you when I get out. I love you. Sometimes they knew their names.
And when they successfully robbed somebody once, they came back for more. They called the same victims 2 to 3 times additionally with fake news emergencies, claiming mix-ups, pregnant women having miscarriages, and other tragedies that require more money. Each additional scam deepened the psychological trauma while emptying their bank accounts.
Mary Jo McBride told me that's exactly what happened to her elderly parents in Chambersburg.
The average victim was 84 years old. These are Americans who built our country, fought our wars, and raised our families. Targeting this vulnerable class of people is absolutely despicable, and I'm glad we're finally seeing these criminals face serious consequences. Now here's where the story gets even more outrageous. These criminals were using American infrastructure to rob American citizens. They turned Uber and Lyft drivers into unwitting accomplices, using rideshare services to transport elderly victims to banks and collect the stolen money.
Unwitting rideshare drivers were sent directly to victims' homes to pick up victims, bring them to the bank to withdraw funds.
Picture this, your 84-year-old grandmother gets a panicked call from somebody claiming to be their grandson in jail. Hello, this is your grandson. Hello, grandma. This is your grandson. I'm in prison. I need your help. She's so upset. She calls an Uber to take her to her bank to withdraw her life savings. The Uber driver has no idea they're participating in elderly abuse. They think they're just giving a ride to somebody who needs to go to the bank.
A car then arrived to take them to the bank to make withdrawals totaling $18,000 to supposedly bail out their grandson.
The same Uber driver picks up the cash and delivers it to criminal runners, still not knowing that they're part of an international money laundering operation. These criminals were so brazen that they had photos of themselves celebrating massive thefts, including one conspirator posing with $189,000 in stolen money alongside a New York accomplice.
Federal prosecutors say this call center in the Dominican Republic is where suspects tricked hundreds of seniors into giving away their life savings.
The money was then laundered back to the Dominican Republic to fund the ringleader's luxury lifestyle. Constantinos Garcia was buying boats and living like a king off of stolen money from American grandparents who were too ashamed to tell their families what happened.
Uber's security team tipped off the feds to the scam.
The fact that even Uber drivers started reporting suspicious activity shows how obvious these criminal operations have become. When rideshare drivers are calling the FBI because they're seeing too many elderly people being transported to banks and then having cash picked up, you know the system is completely out of control. Let's talk about what this actually did to American families, because the human cost goes far beyond $5 million of stolen money. These scams have been destroying lives for years, targeting the most vulnerable Americans who trust the voices on the other end of the phone.
Many of these scammers are extremely good at what they do. They know how to manipulate people. They know how to play on emotion.
These elderly Americans didn't just lose their money. They lost their sense of safety and trust. Imagine being 84 years old and realizing that somebody exploited your love for your grandchildren to steal your life savings. That's the kind of betrayal that changes how you see the world forever.
The U.S. attorney calls it financially devastating and emotionally traumatizing for victims.
Some were too ashamed to tell their families what happened.
Many of these victims were too ashamed to report what happened or even tell their families. They blamed themselves for falling for a scam instead of recognizing that they were targeted by sophisticated international criminals with professional scripts and psychological manipulation techniques.
Others never recovered from the loss. The stories are truly heartbreaking.
It's not just financially, but emotionally. Prosecutors described the stories as heartbreaking, and even law enforcement officials were moved by the suffering these criminals have caused.
More than 400 100 seniors, most of whom are from Massachusetts, were scammed out of a combined $5 million.
This is exactly why targeting elderly Americans is so absolutely despicable. These criminals knew that they were going after the most vulnerable people in our society, and they did it anyway because it was profitable. Finally, we're seeing real consequences for these international criminals. 13 defendants have been charged, with 9 in custody and 4 still being hunted by authorities. The charges include up to 20 years for fraud conspiracy, up to 20 years for money laundering, and fines up to $500,000 or double the stolen amount of money.
The FBI says they arrested 11 people, 6 of them in the Dominican Republic, for their alleged roles in this international mail, wire, and money laundering scheme.
But here's what really matters. The Justice Department is treating this as what it actually is: organized crime, not just telephone scams. U.S. attorney officials call it a cruel and malicious fraud scheme and said preying on our elderly is ruthless and immoral.
Alleged mastermind behind it all, Oscar Manuel Castaños Garcia, had no shame about swindling these seniors, calling prospective new targets in New Hampshire and Maine, quote, fresh meat.
The message from federal prosecutors is clear. We've had enough. We will find you. This is the kind of aggressive prosecution we need when foreign criminals target vulnerable Americans. Elderly fraud has evolved into corporate-style criminal enterprises, and our response needs to match that reality. The FBI is working with Dominican authorities for arrests and extraditions, showing that international cooperation can work when we have leadership that prioritizes protecting American citizens. Finally, these predators are facing real consequences for targeting the most vulnerable citizens. America, this story shows exactly why we need continued vigilance to protect our elderly citizens from these sophisticated criminal operations. These scams have been going on for far too long, and I'm glad we're finally seeing some serious federal prosecution to match the scale of these crimes. The Dominican call center operation proves that elderly fraud isn't just individual criminals making random calls. It's organized international crime with corporate-style operation designed to target the most vulnerable Americans. The $5 million stolen represents more than just money. It represents retirement funds, medical expenses, and inheritances that were supposed to help American families. Every dollar stolen by these foreign criminals was a dollar that couldn't help an American grandchild go to college or pay for their medical care. This case proves when we take elderly fraud seriously, treat it as organized crime as it actually is, we can get results. The 20-year sentences these criminals are facing send the right message. If you target vulnerable Americans, we will find you, prosecute you, and put you in prison for decades. Finally, these predators are getting exactly what they deserve, but we need to stay vigilant and protect our elderly relatives from future scams, because unfortunately, there are always more criminals ready to target the most vulnerable people in our society. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comments section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Tyson. Tyson Delacruz. Another good one. Yeah, man, they soft targets. That's what you call soft targets, man. Especially when it comes to the elderly. That's not right. That's not fair. That's very despicable. And the fact that they were flaunting the money, like the guy was like having all this money and buying boats and living the life, cheating, like stealing from seniors to pleasure yourself with expensive gifts and expensive homes and what else you had, jewelry. That's crazy. I hope he sees a good long jail sentence to the point that he loses everything. All that money should be returned back to the seniors. All the ones that they could identify that they were taken for granted should be refunded. All that money. And all whatever that was purchased should be sold in auction, and all the proceeds go back to the people he stole from. But yeah, that's just the way I think. I mean, that's my resolution. Yeah. But I'm out of here. I'm done. I did 3 hours. Oh my God. I'm doing too much. My neck is hurting. I'm done. But thank you again, Tyson, for coming through. Truly appreciate our special guest that popped out of nowhere. Actually, not really. I kind of talked to him early. I was like, hey, if you want to come by tonight, you're more than welcome to, send out the invite. And he made it through, and I appreciate him very much. And and for those who came through and watched today, I truly appreciate you guys too. And for the people who are rewatching, thank you. You made it 3 hours. I know it's a lot. I'm sorry. But, it happens that way. You got a lot of news and you got special guests coming over, and time flies while you're having a good time. And it really does fly on my show. But continue having a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And I'll catch you on the flip side. And we'll do this again tomorrow. It's Friday, so it should be good. And don't forget, Saturday, 10 a.m., I'll be doing psychic readings. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. With that said, have a good night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.